Welcome, traveler, to the sanctuary of Lotus Whisper. You have arrived at a moment of profound stillness, where the weight of the world begins to dissolve into the quiet rhythm of your breath. Tonight, we gather to explore a path often hidden by tears and shadows, the sacred art of turning pain into awakening. Just as the lotus flower finds its strength in the deep, dark mud of the pond, so too can your struggles become the very soil from which your peace will bloom. Allow my voice to be your guide as we transform suffering into a gentle light that illuminates your soul. Before we begin our journey into the heart of tranquility, I invite you to subscribe and join our circle of mindful souls. Let us breathe together and begin your transformation. Welcome, traveler of the inner path. You have arrived at a moment of stillness, a sanctuary where the noise of the world begins to fade into the background of the great silence. Tonight, we walk together through the landscape of the soul, exploring the terrains that often feel difficult to navigate alone. We often view our pain and our worries as intruders, as thieves that come in the night to steal our peace. But in the quiet wisdom of the temple, we learn a different truth. Pain is not a wall, but a doorway. It is the friction of the heart awakening to its own depth and its own capacity for light. As you settle into your breath, let go of the need to be anywhere else. There is nowhere to reach and nothing to fix. We are simply here, observing the movement of the mind as it prepares for the long journey toward rest. Let us begin our journey into the clouds, finding the light that waits patiently behind the storm. Imagine yourself standing at the foot of a great mountain as the day begins to fold into the evening. The air is thick and heavy, pressing against your skin like a damp wool cloak that has grown heavy with rain. Above you, the sky is no longer clear or blue. It is filled with vast, swirling clouds of charcoal, silver, and deep violet. These are the clouds of the restless mind, the heavy vapors of anxiety that gather when the soul is tired. They move with an erratic, nervous energy, shifting and turning, never finding a place to settle or a moment to be still. You feel a familiar tightness in your chest, a guest that arrives unbidden when the world feels too large and your own strength feels too small. This is the weight of the unknown. It is the sound of 1,000 whispers speaking all at once, telling stories of what might happen, what has been lost, and what you have yet to accomplish. The path beneath your feet is narrow and winding, carved into the side of the mountain by the footsteps of many who have walked this way before you. With every step you take, the fog seems to grow denser, wrapping itself around your limbs and obscuring the way forward. You can no longer see the high peak of the mountain, nor can you see the green valley you left behind. You are suspended in a grey middle ground, a place where the ground feels uncertain and the air feels thin and cold. This is the experience of the wandering heart. We spend so much of our lives trying to outrun these clouds. We run until our breath is ragged and our legs are weary, hoping that if we move fast enough, we will find a patch of clear sky. But the more we run, the faster the clouds seem to follow, for they are born from within the very movement of our own racing thoughts. Stop for a moment. Stand perfectly still on the rocky path. Feel the cool mist touching your forehead and the dampness of the mountain air on your palms. Instead of pushing the clouds away, simply look at them. Observe their texture and their motion. See how they are not solid objects, but merely vapor and shadow drifting through the emptiness. In the tradition of the ancient masters, we are taught that the mind is like the vast, eternal sky. The clouds of worry, the storms of fear, and the lightning of panic are all just weather. They pass through the sky, they change the color of the light, but they are not the sky itself. The sky does not struggle against the storm. It does not try to hold on to the sunlight when it fades. It simply remains open, spacious, and unmoving, allowing all things to come and go in their own time. Your anxiety is a teacher wearing a mask of discomfort. It is the spirit calling out for your own gentle attention. When the heart feels heavy, it is often because we are carrying things that do not belong to us. We carry the heavy expectations of others, the ghosts of yesterday, and the shadows of a tomorrow that has not yet arrived. We grip these things so tightly that our knuckles turn white and our spirits become exhausted by the effort. But look at your hands now, resting by your side. In the stillness of this moment, you can choose to loosen your grip. You can choose to let the heavy stones of worry fall to the earth. They do not need to be carried up the mountain. Listen to the sound of the wind moving through the ancient pines that cling to the cliffs nearby. The wind does not ask the trees for permission to blow, it simply moves. The trees do not resist the wind. They bend and they sway, finding a hidden grace in the movement. Your thoughts are like that wind. They may be cold, they may be sharp, and they may shake the branches of your mind, but they cannot break you if you learn to flow with them rather than against them. Notice the physical sensation of this restlessness. Where does it live in your body right now? Is it a knot in the pit of the stomach? A tension in the high curve of the shoulders? A fluttering in the pulse at your wrist? Do not judge these sensations. Do not call them bad or wrong. Simply name them with a kind and quiet voice. Say to yourself, there is heaviness here. There is heat here. There is movement here. By naming the feeling, you create a small, sacred space between yourself and the emotion. You are no longer the anxiety, you are the one who notices the anxiety. This is the first step of the awakening. Like a monk sitting in deep meditation beneath a crashing waterfall, you feel the pressure of the water, but you remain centered in your own being. The water flows over you, but it does not carry you away. You are the rock, ancient and steady. The clouds continue to swirl around the mountain, but you are beginning to realize that you have the power to sit quietly in the very center of the storm. As you stand on this mountain path, the light begins to change. The sun is setting somewhere behind the thick grey veil, casting a faint golden glow through the mist. This light is your own awareness. It is always present, even when it is obscured by the darkest clouds. Even in your most restless moments, that golden light of pure consciousness is shining, waiting for the clouds to thin and disperse. Breathe in the cool, damp air. Feel it filling your lungs, expanding your ribcage, and then leaving you slowly, like a receding tide. With every exhale, imagine a little bit of that grey mist being carried away by your breath. You are not fighting the clouds, you are simply breathing through them, letting them be as they are until they are ready to dissolve. The journey towards sleep begins with this simple acceptance. We cannot force the mind to be quiet any more than we can force the ocean to be still. We can only wait with patience. We sit on the shore and watch the waves rise and fall. We sit on the mountain and watch the clouds drift and fade. The heaviness you feel tonight is the beginning of a great release. It is the tension that precedes the total relaxation of the body and the soul. Like a bowstring being drawn tight before the arrow is released into the infinite blue, your current state is the preparation for a deep and sacred rest. Let the rhythm of your heart slow down to match the ancient pace of the mountain. There is no hurry. The night is long, and the path is patient. You are safe here in the fog. You are protected by the silence of the stones. The clouds are not your enemy. They are the veil that makes the coming clarity even more beautiful. Stay in this space of observation. Watch the restless thoughts as if they were birds flying across a distant, darkening horizon. They come from nowhere, and they go to nowhere. You remain. You are the stillness that holds it all. The stone path beneath your feet is cool and damp, a gentle reminder of the earth that supports every step you take. As you walk further into the heart of this sacred mountain, the mist begins to thin, revealing the weathered wooden gates of an ancient temple. This is the place where the noise of the world comes to die, and the song of the soul begins to rise. You notice the scent of sandalwood floating on the breeze, a fragrance that has lived in these halls for 1,000 years. It is a scent that speaks of patience and the slow, steady burning of time. You reach a small courtyard where a single stone lantern casts a soft, amber glow upon the moss. In the center of this courtyard sits a shallow basin of water, carved from a single piece of dark granite. The water is perfectly still, acting as a mirror for the silver moon that hangs high above the jagged peaks. As you stand by the water, a monk approaches with silent footsteps. He does not speak, for words are often the walls we build between ourselves and the truth. Instead, he points to the reflection of the moon in the basin. He picks up a small pebble and drops it into the water. The surface breaks into 1,000 fragments of light. The image of the moon is shattered, distorted by the ripples that race toward the edge of the stone. The monk looks at you and smiles a smile of pure compassion. He waits. He does not try to fix the water. He does not try to grab the pieces of the moon to put them back together. He simply stands in the presence of the movement. Slowly, the ripples reach the shore and disappear. The water begins to find its level once more. The chaos subsides. And there, in the deepening silence, the moon reappears, whole and luminous, as if it had never been broken. This is the nature of your mind. Your thoughts, your worries, and the heavy memories of the day are like that pebble. They create ripples that distort your peace. You have spent so much energy trying to smooth the water with your hands, but your very effort only creates more disturbance. To find the moon again, you must learn the art of doing nothing. You must learn to wait. The water knows how to be still. It is its natural state. Peace is not something you must manufacture or earn through hard labor. Peace is what remains when you stop shaking the basin. Let the ripples of your anxiety travel to the edges of your awareness. Do not follow them. Do not try to stop them. Simply watch them fade. The monk leads you toward a wooden veranda that overlooks a sea of clouds. The wood is smooth and dark, polished by the feet of countless seekers who came before you. As you sit down, the air feels lighter. The weight in your chest, that invisible stone you have been carrying, begins to dissolve into the cool night air. The monk tells a story of an old master who was asked about the secret of enlightenment. The master replied that when he was hungry, he ate, and when he was tired, he slept. The student was disappointed, saying that everyone does these things, but the master shook his head and said that when most people eat, they are thinking of 1,000 other things, and when they sleep, they are dreaming of their problems. To be truly present is to allow the act of resting to be the only thing that exists in the universe. Right now, your only task is to exist in this breath. Listen to the sound of the wind as it moves through the ancient pine trees. It is a low, rhythmic hum, like the chanting of 1,000 monks in a distant hall. This sound is not separate from you. You are the wind, and you are the trees. You are the mountain that stands unmoved by the changing weather. The clouds may wrap themselves around the peaks, hiding the world from view, but the mountain does not feel lost. It knows that its foundation is deep, rooted in the very heart of the world. You are that mountain. Your true self is not the passing cloud of a thought or the temporary storm of an emotion. You are the solid, unmoving presence that watches it all. As you sit on the veranda, you notice a single leaf falling from a branch. It does not struggle against the air. It does not worry about where it will land. It trusts the gravity that pulls it down and the wind that guides its path. It is a dance of complete surrender. Can you allow yourself to fall like that leaf? Can you surrender the need to control the direction of your life for just this moment? The night is a vast ocean of soft darkness, and you are drifting on its surface. There is no shore to reach, no destination to achieve. The drifting is the purpose. The darkness is not a void of nothingness. It is a womb of potential, a place where your spirit can rest and be reborn. The monk bows and retreats into the shadows, leaving you with the silence. This silence is a gift. It is a blanket that covers the sharp edges of your day. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Feel the muscles in your face softening as if they were melting into the moonlight. Your breath has become a slow, rhythmic tide. With every inhale, you draw in the purity of the mountain air. With every exhale, you release a layer of the old self that no longer serves you. You are becoming lighter. You are becoming the space between the stars. The temple bells ring softly in the distance, a sound so delicate it seems to be made of glass. The vibration travels through the air, through the wood of the veranda, and through your very bones. It is a reminder that everything is interconnected. The bell, the sound, the ear, and the silence are all one. In this oneness, there is no room for fear. Fear requires a past to regret or a future to dread. But here, in the heart of the mountain, there is only the eternal now. The past is a ghost that has no power over the living. The future is a dream that has not yet been dreamt. You are safe in the sanctuary of the present. The fog outside the temple has grown thicker, wrapping the world in a soft, white cocoon. It is as if the universe has drawn a curtain around you, protecting your peace, ensuring that nothing from the outside world can disturb your rest. You are tucked away in the folds of the mountain. The stones are your guardians. The trees are your companions. The silence is your home. As the night deepens, the boundary between your body and the air seems to fade. You are no longer a person trying to sleep. You are the night itself, vast and quiet. The rhythm of your heart is the rhythm of the earth. The stillness in your mind is the stillness of the deep forest. There is a profound sense of coming home, of returning to, a state of being that you have always known but had temporarily forgotten. You are the moon in the water, clear and bright. You are the empty room, full of light. You are the breath that sustains the world. Sleep is not a loss of consciousness, it is a return to the source. It is the ultimate act of trust. Trust in the night, trust in the mountain, trust in the silence that is now calling you into the depths of a dreamless, healing peace. Now let every remaining thought dissolve like salt in the vast ocean. Your body is heavy, your mind is still, and your heart is at rest. The mountain protects you, and the starlight guides you home. Sink into the velvet darkness where everything is whole. There is nothing left to do but drift into the gentle embrace of the night. Welcome, traveler of the inner path. You have found your way back to the quiet sanctuary of the Lotus Whisper. Tonight, the air is heavy with the scent of damp earth and the promise of a cleansing rain. I invite you to set down the heavy burdens you have been carrying through the crowded streets of your daily life. Your mind has been a busy marketplace, filled with the noise of expectations, the echoes of yesterday, and the shadows of tomorrow. But here, in this moment, there is no need to achieve, no need to fix, and no need to run. We are entering the second chapter of our journey together. We are learning the sacred art of turning pain into awakening. In the silence that follows my voice, feel the weight of your bodies settling into the earth. You are safe. You are held. Let us begin the walk toward the center of your soul. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a high mountain ridge as the sun begins to dip below the horizon. The sky is not clear. Instead, it is filled with vast, swirling clouds of deep purple and bruised grey. You can feel a change in the atmosphere. The air has grown thick and charged with an electric tension that makes the hairs on your arms stand still. This is the landscape of the modern heart. We live in a time of great storms where the pressure to be more, to do more, and to have more creates a constant vibration of unease within our bones. You might feel it as a tightness in your chest, like an iron band that refuses to loosen. You might feel it as a restlessness in your legs, a silent command to keep moving even when there is nowhere left to go. This is the storm of anxiety. It is the friction between where you are and where you think you should be. In the valley below, the lights of the distant city flicker like fallen stars. Each light represents a life, a story, and perhaps 1,000 worries. We have been taught to fear the storm. We have been told that peace is the absence of conflict and that happiness is the absence of pain. But the Zen master looks at the darkening sky with a different eye. The master knows that the storm is not an interruption of the path. The storm is the path itself. Consider the bamboo that grows on the slopes of this mountain. When the wind howls and the rain lashes down, the bamboo does not stand rigid and unyielding. If it did, it would snap under the pressure. Instead, the bamboo bows. It bends low to the earth, whispering to the wind, letting the force of the gale pass over its slender frame. The bamboo does not fight the storm. It integrates the storm into its own dance. Your anxiety is much like this wind. It is a movement of energy that has become trapped in the narrow corridors of your thoughts. You try to think your way out of the tension, but thought is the very thing that feeds the fire. You ask yourself why you feel this way, what you did wrong, and how you can stop it. Each question is a new gust of wind, making the waves on the lake of your mind grow taller and more chaotic. For a moment, I want you to stop trying to solve the problem of your stress. Imagine that your anxiety is a crying child who has lost their way in a crowded woods. If you scream at the child to be quiet, or if you turn your back and run away, the child only cries louder. But if you sit down on the mossy ground, open your arms and say, "I see you. I am here with you," the child begins to feel the first touch of safety. Breathe in the cool mountain air. Feel it enter your nostrils, traveling down into the deep, quiet cavern of your belly. As you exhale, imagine you are releasing the need to understand why the storm is here. It is here because it is here. In the world of Zen, we do not ask why the rain falls. We simply observe the falling rain. Look closely at the tension in your shoulders. Do not try to relax them yet. Simply notice how they feel. Are they heavy? Are they cold? Are they vibrating with a dull ache? By observing the sensation without judgment, you are creating a small space of light around the pain. You are no longer the pain. You are the awareness that witnesses the pain. This is the first step of awakening. It is the realization that you are the vast, unchanging sky, and the anxiety is merely a cloud passing through you. The modern world demands that we be like machines, always functioning, always producing, always consistent. But you are a biological symphony of seasons. You have a winter within you, a time of shedding and darkness. You have a summer of heat and expansion. Right now, you may be in a season of turbulence. The noise of the world is loud. The digital hum of information never sleeps. It pulls at your attention, fragmenting your soul into 1,000 pieces. You feel stretched thin, like a piece of silk pulled across a jagged rock. This tension is the cry of your spirit, asking for a return to the center. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of your sensitivity, a sign that you are alive and feeling the profound weight of existence. Listen to the sound of the wind as it brushes against the eaves of the temple. It carries the scent of pine and ancient stone. There is a deep wisdom in the earth that knows how to handle pressure. Deep beneath our feet, the rocks are being crushed and heated, and yet, through that immense stress, diamonds are formed. The pressure you feel in your mind and body is the heat of your own transformation. You are being forged. The old ways of being, the ways of seeking external validation and running from your shadows, are being burned away. It is uncomfortable because it is a death. It is the death of the ego that thinks it can control the universe. Let us sit here together in the growing darkness. The first drops of rain are beginning to fall, drumming a soft, rhythmic pattern on the roof. Each drop is a reminder to let go. Let go of the tight grip you have on your life. Let go of the image of the person you think you need to be. In this moment, you do not need to be successful. You do not need to be brave. You do not even need to be calm. You only need to be present. Allow the anxiety to wash over you like the rain. Do not build a wall against it. If you open the windows of your heart, the wind can blow right through the house without breaking anything. It is the resistance that causes the damage. Feel your heartbeat. It is a steady drum, a constant companion that has been with you since before you were born. It knows how to beat even when you are afraid. It knows how to keep you alive even when you feel lost. Trust the intelligence of your body. It is far older and wiser than your worried thoughts. Your body knows how to process this energy if you will only give it the space to move. Imagine the tension in your chest as a ball of tangled yarn. Do not pull at the strings, just hold the ball in your hands with kindness. Eventually, the yarn will begin to loosen on its own. The storm will eventually run out of rain. The wind will eventually grow tired and fall into a whisper. This is the law of transience. Nothing stays the same, not even your greatest fear. Stay here with me, in the heart of the storm, and watch as the first light of a different kind of understanding begins to dawn. As you sit here in the quiet space we have created together, feel the weight of your body pressing gently against the earth. The dawn of understanding is not a sudden flash of lightning, but a slow and steady softening of the edges of your soul. Imagine now that we are walking together along a narrow path lined with ancient cedar trees. The air is cool and smells of damp earth and fallen needles. The ground beneath your feet is soft, cushioning every step you take. We are moving toward a small wooden pavilion that sits on the edge of a mirror-like lake. This is the place where the silence is so deep that you can hear the heartbeat of the forest itself. In this space, there is no need to be anyone or to do anything. You are simply a witness to the unfolding of the present moment. Let us consider the story of an old tea master who lived alone in a mountain hut. One evening, a fierce wind began to howl through the valley, shaking the walls of his simple home. The windows rattled and the lanterns flickered, threatening to plunge him into darkness. Outside, the trees groaned under the pressure of the gale, and the master could hear the crashing of branches in the distance. Any other person might have paced the floor in fear, wondering if the roof would hold or if the storm would ever end. But the tea master did nothing of the sort. He sat down by his small hearth and began to prepare a pot of tea. He listened to the whistle of the wind as if it were a flute. He watched the flames dance with a calm and steady gaze. He knew that the wind had its own path to follow, and that his only task was to remain centered in his own being. When the tea was ready, he poured a cup for himself and one for the invisible guest of the storm. He did not fight the noise. He did not wish for the wind to stop. He simply allowed the storm to be exactly what it was, while he remained exactly who he was. By the time the tea was finished, the wind had grown weary and the sky had cleared, revealing a sea of stars. This is the secret of the middle way. We do not try to push the clouds out of the sky. We do not try to stop the rain from falling. Instead, we become like the mountain that holds the forest. The mountain does not move when the storm arrives. It does not tremble when the snow covers its peaks. It remains vast and silent, knowing that the seasons must change and that the weather is merely a passing garment. Your anxiety is like that weather. It moves across the landscape of your mind, sometimes dark and heavy, sometimes light and fleeting. But you are the mountain. You are the vastness that contains the storm. Feel your breath moving in and out like the tide of the ocean. With every inhale, you draw in the strength of the mountain. With every exhale, you release the tension of the valley. Look closely at the surface of the lake before us. The water is so still that it perfectly reflects the moon hanging high in the velvet sky. If you were to throw a stone into the water, the reflection would shatter into 1,000 pieces. The moon in the water would seem broken and chaotic. You might be tempted to reach into the water with your hands to try and pull the pieces back together, but that would only create more ripples and more confusion. To see the moon whole again, you must do nothing at all. You must wait. You must allow the water to find its own stillness. Your mind is exactly like this lake. When your thoughts are racing and your heart is heavy, the image of your true self becomes fragmented. You feel lost and broken. But the truth is that the moon in the sky is never broken. Only the reflection is disturbed. By sitting here in the silence, by breathing slowly and deeply, you are allowing the ripples of your life to settle. You are allowing the water of your spirit to become clear once more. The weight of your limbs is becoming more pronounced now. It is a comfortable weight, like a thick wool blanket draped over your shoulders. A cold night. Feel the muscles in your face soften. The tiny lines around your eyes relax. Your jaw releases its hold. There is a profound sense of relief in letting go of the need to control the world. We spend so much of our lives trying to arrange the circumstances of our existence so that we might feel safe. We build walls and we make plans, yet the wind always finds a way in. True safety does not come from the absence of the storm, but from the realization that you are the sky. The sky is never harmed by the clouds. The sky is never bruised by the thunder. It simply provides the space for everything to happen. As we sit in this pavilion, listen to the sound of a single drop of water falling from a leaf into the lake. It is a small sound, yet it fills the entire universe. In Zen, we say that one drop of water contains the entire ocean. In the same way, this single breath you are taking right now contains your entire life. There is no past to regret in this breath. There is no future to fear in this breath. There is only the cool air entering and the warm air leaving. This is the only place where you truly exist. Everything else is a shadow cast by the mind. Let the shadows fade. Let the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you must do dissolve into the mist rising from the water. You are drifting now toward a deeper state of rest. The forest around us is falling into a profound slumber. The birds have tucked their heads under their wings. The deer are resting in the tall grass. Even the trees seem to be breathing more slowly. You are part of this natural rhythm. You are not separate from the earth or the stars. The same energy that moves the planets moves through your veins. The same silence that dwells in the heart of the mountain dwells within you. Trust in this silence. Trust in the darkness of the night, for it is the womb of the coming day. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. Let the world carry itself for a while. You have done enough. Now it is time to simply be. Lay down your burdens at the edge of the lake and step into the boat of sleep. The water is calm, and the stars will guide you home. Feel the gentle rocking of this boat as it drifts away from the shore of your daily worries. The ripples on the surface of the water are like the soft beats of your heart, rhythmic and steady. There is no need to steer, no need to row. The current of the universe knows the way to the center of peace. Close your eyes and let the velvet darkness wrap around you like a warm silk blanket. Every breath you take is a wave of stillness washing over your tired limbs. Your feet are heavy, your hands are soft, and your mind is as clear as the midnight sky. Listen to the silence between my words. That silence is your true home. It is the place where all questions vanish and only the essence of being remains. You are not the thoughts that flicker like distant lightning. You are the vast space in which the stars reside. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the need to remember. Simply float in this ocean of tranquility. The night is a kind teacher, showing you that it is safe to disappear for a while. As you sink deeper into the soft embrace of your bed, feel your spirit expanding to meet the infinite. You are the breath, the water, and the starlight. Rest now, dear traveler. The journey of the day is over. The sanctuary of sleep is open. Peace is here. The world outside is a storm of echoes and a restless sea of shadows. For so long you have carried the weight of your burdens, like heavy stones gathered from a riverbed, thinking that to hold them is to survive. But as you stand at the threshold of this sacred space, I invite you to notice the rhythm of your own heart. It is a drum that has beaten through every cold night and every long journey. Now, the path narrows. The noise of the marketplace and the frantic whispers of the mind begin to fade into a soft, grey mist. You are moving toward a place that has always existed beneath the layers of your daily life. This is the quiet temple within. It is not built of wood or stone, but of silence and awareness. As we begin this journey into the heart of tranquility, let your breath become the bridge. Do not force it. Simply watch it as it rises and falls, like the tide touching the shore of a hidden island. You are safe here. The rain of the world cannot reach the center of this sanctuary. Here, we do not run from the pain that has followed us. Instead, we sit with it, turning the sharp edges of our suffering into the smooth surface of a mirror. Welcome home to the silence that knows your name. The path leading to the inner temple is paved with the smooth, cool stones of mindfulness. Each step you take is a deliberate release of the world you left behind. Imagine yourself walking through a forest of ancient pines, where the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and needles. The light here is soft, filtered through a canopy of emerald green, casting long and gentle shadows that dance across the moss. You feel the ground beneath your soles, firm and supportive, reminding you that the earth always carries you, even when you feel most lost. As you walk, the tension in your shoulders begins to dissolve, like salt in warm water. The tightness in your chest starts to loosen, making room for the cool, clean air of the mountain. You are approaching a great gate made of weathered cedar, silvered by time and the elements. This is the gate of transition. Beyond it lies the quietude you have been searching for. As you push open the heavy wooden doors, they move with a slow and rhythmic creak, a sound that signals the beginning of a deeper peace. You step inside the courtyard of your own soul. The architecture here is simple and vast. There are no distractions, only the beauty of empty space. A single stone lantern flickers in the corner, its flame steady and bright despite the wind that howls far above the temple walls. You walk toward the center of the hall, where the floor is made of polished dark wood, reflecting the dim light like a still pond at midnight. Every footfall is a note of silence. You find a cushion placed perfectly in the center of the room, and you sit. As you settle into this posture of stillness, you realize that the temple is not a place you have entered, but a state of being you have finally allowed yourself to inhabit. In this stillness, the pain you have carried begins to change its shape. For a long time, you may have viewed your suffering as an intruder or a thief that steals your joy. But here, in the dim light of the inner temple, we look at pain with the eyes of a master. We see that pain is often the shell that protects the seed of awakening. Just as the lotus must push through the thick and suffocating mud to reach the surface of the water, our spirit often uses the pressure of our struggles to find its way toward the light. Do not push the discomfort away. Do not judge it as a failure of your practice. Instead, imagine your pain as a guest who has traveled a very long distance to bring you a message. Invite it to sit with you. Give it a cup of tea. In the silence of the temple, the guest finally stops shouting and begins to speak in a whisper. It tells you that you are stronger than you believed. It tells you that your capacity to feel is your greatest gift. Look around the inner chamber of your mind. Notice the high rafters where the shadows of old thoughts hang like sleeping birds. They do not bother you now. They are merely part of the landscape. The air is filled with the faint, sweet smell of sandalwood incense, rising in a single, straight line toward the ceiling. This smoke represents your intentions, rising clearly and without hesitation. You are becoming aware of the space between your thoughts. That space is the true temple. It is vast, infinite, and untouched by the dramas of the world. Even when the body aches or the heart feels heavy, this space remains clear. It is like the sky that remains blue even when the thickest clouds pass over it. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. You are not the pain. You are the awareness that witnesses the pain. As you sit deeper into the silence, you notice a small bell hanging near the altar. It is made of ancient bronze, etched with symbols of peace. When the wind of your breath catches it, it releases a sound that resonates through your entire being. The sound is long and deep, vibrating in your bones and calming the marrow. It reminds you that everything is vibration, and everything is temporary. The sharp sting of a memory, the heavy pull of a regret, the anxious flutter of a worry about tomorrow. All of these are just waves on the surface of the ocean, but you are diving deep now, down into the blue depths where the water is still and the pressure is a gentle embrace. In this depth, there is no conflict. There is only the presence of being. The walls of your inner temple are lined with windows that look out onto the garden of your life. From this perspective, you see that the storms you endured were necessary to water the flowers of your compassion. Without the rain of your tears, the garden would be a desert. You begin to feel a profound sense of gratitude for the very things that once broke your heart. You see that the cracks in your spirit are where the light finally found a way to enter. This is the alchemy of awakening. We do not discard the lead of our suffering. We transform it into the gold of wisdom. Every scar is a line of poetry written by the soul. Every moment of loneliness was an invitation to find the company of your own true nature. Stay here in this quiet hall for as long as you need. There is no clock on the wall, and there are no appointments to keep. Time in the inner temple flows differently. A single breath can last an eternity, and 1,000 years of history can pass in the blink of an eye. You are learning to inhabit the present moment, which is the only place where peace can truly grow. Feel the coolness of the air on your skin. Listen to the silence as if it were a beautiful melody. You are becoming the tranquility you once sought. You are the temple, the priest, and the prayer. As you rest in this sacred space, the pain that once felt like a fire becomes a soft glow, a pilot light that guides you through the darkness toward a deep and restorative sleep. You are whole. You are complete. You are finally, deeply at rest. In this profound stillness, you begin to understand that the boundaries of your body are like the banks of a river. They hold the water for a time, but the water itself is free and ever-changing. Imagine now a small wooden boat drifting upon a lake as smooth as a mirror. There is no wind, no oars, and no passenger. This is the state of the empty boat. When an empty boat drifts into another vessel, there is no anger, for there is no one inside to take offense. You are becoming that empty boat, floating effortlessly on the vast expanse of your own consciousness. The moonlight touches the surface of the water, and you realize that the light and the water are not two separate things. They are one single expression of the night. Think of the ancient master who sat by a mountain stream. A student approached him, breathless and burdened by the weight of many worries. The student asked how one might find the path to the eternal. The master did not speak. Instead, he pointed to a single white cloud, drifting lazily across the peak of the mountain. The cloud does not try to be white. It does not try to move. It is moved by the invisible breath of the world. Your breath is that invisible wind. With every slow inhalation, you are drawing in the essence of the stars and the ancient forests. With every exhalation, you are releasing the stories you have told yourself about who you are. You are not your name. You are not your history. You are the silent witness to the dance of existence. As you drift deeper into this mental landscape, you find yourself standing at the edge of a bamboo grove. The stalks are tall and slender, swaying with a grace that defies the strength of the gale. Listen to the sound of the leaves whispering to one another. They speak a language of surrender. To bend is to survive. To yield is to overcome. Your muscles are like the bamboo, releasing their tension, becoming supple and soft. The earth beneath your feet is warm and supportive. It has carried you through every step of your life, and now it asks nothing of you but to let go. In the heart of the grove, there is a small stone basin filled with clear rainwater. A single leaf falls from above and touches the surface. Watch the ripples spread outward in perfect circles. These ripples are like your thoughts. They appear, they expand, and eventually they vanish back into the stillness of the water. Do not try to stop the ripples. Simply watch them. See how the water remains unchanged beneath the surface movement. Your true nature is the depth of that basin, undisturbed by the falling leaves of daily life. The air here smells of damp earth and cedar wood. It is a scent that reminds the soul of its home. You are returning to the source. In the distance, a temple bell rings once. The sound travels through the mist, vibrating in the very marrow of your bones. It is a call to awaken within the dream. It tells you that there is nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. You have arrived. The journey of 1,000 miles ends in this very breath. Consider the lotus flower, which grows in the mud but remains unstained by it. The mud is necessary for the flower to bloom. Your challenges, your sorrows, and your anxieties have been the soil from which your wisdom grows. Without the darkness of the earth, the lotus would have no strength. Do not resent the mud. Thank it for the nourishment it provided. Now you are the blossom, opening your petals to the silver light of the moon. Each petal is a layer of your being, unfolding in perfect timing. There is no rush. The flower does not hurry its blooming. It trusts the seasons. You are now entering a space where time has no meaning. The past is a shadow that has lost its shape. The future is a mist that has not yet formed. There is only the eternal now, a golden thread that connects every heartbeat. Feel the weight of your body sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. It is as if you are becoming part of the earth itself. You are the mountain, rooted and majestic. You are the valley, open and receptive. As the night deepens, the silence becomes more than just the absence of noise. It becomes a presence, a companion that holds you in a gentle embrace. This silence is the language of the universe. It is the sound of the stars turning in their orbits. It is the sound of the grass growing. In this silence, you find a peace that surpasses all understanding. It is a peace that does not depend on external circumstances. It is the peace of your own heart, rediscovered in the quiet hours. Sleep is not merely a rest for the body, It is a sacred return to the void from which all things arise. It is a dip into the great ocean of being. As you stand on the shore of sleep, look back at the day with a smile of compassion. Every mistake was a lesson. Every joy was a gift. Now, leave your shoes at the edge of the water. Step into the cool, dark waves of slumber. The water is warm and inviting. It carries you away from the shore of the known into the vast, beautiful unknown. You are safe. You are held. You are loved by the very fabric of existence. The stars watch over you like the eyes of ancient ancestors. The moonlight weaves a blanket of silver protection around your spirit. Let the rhythm of your breathing be the lullaby that carries you across the threshold. There is no more thinking. There is only being. There is only the soft, rhythmic pulse of life. Sink down, deeper and deeper, into the velvet darkness. The darkness is not empty. It is full of potential, full of rest, full of the quiet power of the universe. Rest now. The world will continue its dance without your effort. You have done enough. You are enough. Sleep in the heart of the lotus. Sleep in the arms of the mountain. Sleep in the silence of the stars. You are the peace you have been seeking. You are the silence. You are home. Now, as the final echoes of the day fade into the vast expanse of the night, allow yourself to let go of the very last thread of thought. There is no longer a need to hold on to the self or the story of who you are. Like a single drop of dew sliding into the great ocean, you are returning to the source of all things. The air around you is cool and fragrant, with the scent of sandalwood and ancient pines. It carries the weight of 1,000 quiet prayers. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest as a movement of the tide. You are not breathing. The universe is breathing you. There is no effort in this exchange. There is only the natural flow of existence, effortless and eternal. The lotus flower within your heart now begins to fold its petals inward, one by one. Each petal represents a worry or a dream, and as they close, they protect the golden light at your center. This light is your true nature, unchanging and serene. The mountain stands tall in the distance, its peaks touched by the silver light of a silent moon. You are that mountain, unmoving and grounded in the deep earth. Winds may blow and clouds may pass, but your stillness remains absolute. The valley below is filled with a soft mist that cushions every sound, turning the world into a sanctuary of total silence. The moonlight dances upon the surface of the still water, creating patterns of light that guide you deeper into the realm of the subconscious. In this sacred space, time has no meaning. There is no yesterday to regret and no tomorrow to fear. There is only this perfect moment of rest. Your body feels light, as if it were made of starlight and shadow. You are drifting on a sea of infinite peace, where the waves are soft and the water is warm. Every muscle has surrendered, every cell is at peace. The darkness is a soft blanket that covers you with kindness. As you descend into the depths of a dreamless sleep, remember that you are held by the infinite. You are the silence between the stars. You are the peace that passes all understanding. Drift now into the great mystery. Be still. Be silent. Be free. Sleep now. Rest deeply. Forever. Welcome to this quiet sanctuary of the mind. As you settle into this moment, let the weight of your body sink deeply into the earth beneath you. Allow the breath to move through you like a gentle tide, rising and falling without effort or haste. The world outside may be filled with shadows and noise, but here, in this breath, there is only the soft rhythm of your own existence. We often carry our burdens like heavy stones, unaware that we have the power to set them down. Tonight, we will walk a path of transformation. We will look at the discomforts we carry, the sharp edges of our memories, and the physical aches of our tired frames, not as enemies to be conquered, but as teachers waiting to speak. Let go of the need to fix or change anything. Simply be here, present and open, as we begin our journey into the heart of stillness. In a time when the mountains were draped in a silver veil of mist, there lived a young monk named Joran. He resided in a monastery perched precariously on a jagged cliff, where the wind whispered through the ancient pines, and the only sound was the rhythmic strike of the wooden fish during morning prayers. Joran was a diligent student, yet he was haunted by a persistent, gnawing pain in his back and shoulders that made long hours of meditation an agonizing trial. To him, the pain was a wall, a thick barrier of iron that stood between his soul and the enlightenment he so desperately sought. He viewed his suffering as a flaw, a distraction that kept him tethered to the mundane world of flesh and bone. Every time he sat on his woven mat, the fire in his nerves would flare, and his mind would fill with resentment toward his own body. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in shades of bruised purple and gold, Joran sought out the head monk, an elderly man named Master Koji. The master sat by a small stone hearth, watching a single kettle of water begin to hum. The room smelled of dried sage and damp earth. Joran bowed low, his face tight with frustration. He told the master that he could no longer endure the sitting. He confessed that the pain was too loud, drowning out the silence he craved. He asked how he could possibly find peace when his own body was screaming in protest. Master Koji did not look up immediately. He watched the steam rise from the kettle, swirling in the dim light like a ghost. He then reached out and placed a small, rough porcelain cup before Joran. The master told Joran that he would give him a koan to carry into his night of rest. He asked the young monk a simple question that felt like a riddle wrapped in a cold wind. He asked, "When the bell rings, does the sound come from the bell, the air, or your ear?" Joran began to answer with logic, speaking of vibrations and the senses, but the master raised a hand to silence him. He told Joran to go back to his quarters and find the place where the pain and the silence meet. He told him that he was trying to push the pain away as if it were a stranger entering his home, when in reality, the pain was the home itself. Joran left the master's room feeling more confused than before, the ache in his spine pulsing with every step across the cold stone floor. He returned to his small cell, where a single candle flickered against the draught. He sat down, bracing himself for the familiar surge of discomfort. As he crossed his legs, the sharpness returned, a biting sensation that made his breath catch. But this time, instead of fighting it, he remembered the master's words. He decided to stop treating the pain as a wall and began to look at it as if it were a landscape. He closed his eyes and breathed into the center of the fire. He asked himself, who is the one observing this sensation? If the pain is a sound, who is the one listening? He began to notice the texture of the suffering. It was not a solid block of misery, but a flickering series of sensations, rising and falling, shifting and changing like the clouds over the mountain peaks. The silence of the night deepened. The candle burned low, casting long, dancing shadows against the paper walls. Joran watched the pain without judgment. He noticed how his mind wanted to label it as bad or unbearable. He saw how his muscles tightened in anticipation of the next throb, creating a second layer of suffering that was born of his own resistance. Slowly, he began to relax the edges of his mind. He allowed the sensation to be there, as natural as the wind or the rain. He stopped trying to escape. In that moment of total surrender, something remarkable happened. The sharp boundary between Joran and the pain began to dissolve. He was no longer a man suffering from an ache. He was simply a space in which sensation was occurring. The room seemed to expand. The sound of the distant mountain stream became indistinguishable from the pulsing in his back. He felt the coolness of the air on his skin and the warmth of the blood in his veins as a single, unified flow of existence. The koan of the master began to vibrate within him. The sound does not belong to the bell or the ear. It is the meeting of all things. Likewise, the awakening was not something that happened after the pain stopped, but something that happened within the very heart of it. A profound tranquility washed over him, not because the discomfort had vanished, but because his fear of it had died. He felt a lightness he had never known, a sense of being as vast as the sky, where storms may pass, but the blue remains untouched. As the first light of dawn touched the rice paper windows, Joran remained still. The fire in his nerves had become a soft glow, a gentle reminder of his living presence. He understood now that the path to peace is not a detour around our struggles, but a journey straight through them. The very thing he had hated had become the key to his liberation. He stood up, his movements slow and fluid, feeling the floor beneath his feet with a new sense of reverence. The world looked different in the morning mist. Every leaf, every stone, and every breath felt sacred. He walked back to the master's room, not to seek an answer, but to share the silence. The master was already there, pouring tea. They looked at each other, and in that gaze, no words were needed. The bell had rung, and the sound was everywhere. The tea was a bridge between the seen and the unseen. The master poured the liquid with a grace that seemed to halt the very passage of time. The amber stream fell into the ceramic bowl with a soft, rhythmic melody, a sound that echoed the falling rain outside. As the steam rose in delicate, swirling patterns, it carried the scent of roasted leaves and damp earth, a fragrance that grounded the spirit and invited the mind to rest. The disciple watched the steam, seeing in its ephemeral dance the nature of all human thoughts. They arise from the heat of desire and the water of experience. They linger for a moment in the air of consciousness, and then they vanish into the great vastness of the room. There was no need to grasp them. There was no need to push them away. The master handed him the bowl, his weathered fingers touching the cool glaze with a gentleness that spoke of a lifetime of reverence. When the disciple took the bowl, he felt the warmth seep into his palms, traveling up his arms and settling in his chest. This warmth was not just from the tea, it was the warmth of belonging to the present moment. He took a sip, and the bitter, earthy taste washed over his tongue, awakening his senses while simultaneously quieting his internal dialogue. In that single sip, the past and the future were dissolved. There was only the taste, the warmth, and the silent presence of the old man sitting across from him. The master finally spoke, his voice a low vibration that seemed to come from the floorboards themselves, telling a story of a traveler who spent his whole life searching for the sound of the ultimate truth. This traveler had climbed the highest peaks and wandered through the deepest valleys, asking every sage and hermit he met where the great sound could be heard. Some told him to listen to the roar of the ocean, while others told him to seek the silence of the desert. He grew old and weary, his ears straining for a thunderous revelation that never came. One evening, exhausted and defeated, he sat by a small stream to wash his face. He dipped his hands into the cool water. A single drop fell from his fingertips and hit the surface of a still pool. In that tiny, crystalline sound, he heard everything. He heard the birth of stars and the falling of autumn leaves. He realized that he had been looking for a mountain when he was already standing on the earth. He had been looking for the wind while he was breathing it. The master paused, letting the silence swallow the words. and the disciple understood that the bell he had been chasing was not a physical object made of bronze. It was the vibration of his own existence, a sound that is only heard when the listener stops trying to hear it. They sat together as the morning light began to filter through the paper screens, casting long, soft shadows across the tatami mats. The disciple noticed the dust motes dancing in a shaft of light. They moved with a chaotic yet perfect harmony, rising and falling without effort. He felt his own body becoming like those dust motes, light and unburdened. The tension that had lived in his shoulders for years began to melt, flowing downward like honey in the sun. He felt the weight of his bones, the steady beat of his heart, and the expansion of his lungs. Each breath was a gift, a gentle wave that washed over the shore of his being and then receded, carrying away the remnants of his old anxieties. The master gestured toward the garden, where the mist was beginning to lift, revealing the vibrant green of the moss and the grey stability of the stones. The garden was a lesson in non-doing. The moss did not strive to grow, it simply thrived in the shade. The stones did not try to be firm, they were the very definition of stillness. The disciple realized that his life had been a series of efforts to become something else, to reach a destination that was always just over the horizon. But here, in the presence of the tea and the master, there was nowhere to go. The destination was the very act of sitting. The goal was the very act of breathing. He felt a profound sense of relief, as if a heavy pack had been lifted from his back after a long journey. His mind, once a turbulent sea of worries, was now a calm lake reflecting the clear sky. He could see the depths of his own consciousness, and he found that it was not empty, but full of a quiet, radiant peace. As the sun rose higher, the world outside began to wake. He heard the distant call of a bird and the rustle of the wind in the bamboo grove. These sounds did not disturb his silence. They were a part of it. He understood now that true tranquility is not the absence of sound, but the ability to remain centered in the midst of it. He looked at his hands, seeing the intricate lines and the pulse of life beneath the skin. He was a part of the garden, a part of the tea, and a part of the master's silent smile. The boundaries between his inner world and the outer world were becoming thin and porous. He was no longer a separate entity fighting against the current of life. He was the current itself, flowing effortlessly toward the sea. The master stood up and began to walk toward the sleeping quarters, his footsteps making no sound on the wooden floor. The disciple followed, his movements now mirroring the master's fluidity. There was a deep heaviness in his limbs, but it was a comfortable, natural weight. It was the weight of a body that had finally found its place in the world. He lay down on his mat, the scent of straw and cedar filling his nostrils. The master extinguished the small lamp, and the room was plunged into a soft, velvety darkness. In this darkness, the disciple felt his physical form begin to fade. He was no longer a name or a history. He was simply a presence, floating in a vast, dark ocean of peace. The sound of the bell lingered in his mind, a faint, golden hum that lulled him toward a sleep deeper than any he had ever known. As his eyes closed, he felt the earth rising up to cradle him, and he surrendered to the embrace of the night, knowing that the bell would continue to ring, even in his dreams. The darkness is not a void of nothingness, but a womb of infinite potential. Every breath you take now is a gift from the universe, a rhythmic pulse that connects your heartbeat to the rotation of the stars. In this sacred space, there is no work left to be done, and no path left to walk. You have arrived at the destination that was always beneath your feet. The weight of your limbs is like the heavy stones at the bottom of a clear stream, anchored and unmoving, while the water of consciousness flows gently over them. Feel the coolness of the night air as it brushes against your skin, a soft reminder that you are part of the wind and the sky. The scent of sandalwood lingers in the air, grounding your spirit even as it prepares to soar into the realm of dreams. Your thoughts are like autumn leaves falling onto the surface of a still pond. They create small ripples that eventually fade, leaving the water perfectly smooth once more. There is a profound beauty in this surrender. To let go is to find everything. To sleep is to return to the source. The golden hum of the bell now vibrates within your very bones, a frequency of pure compassion that dissolves any remaining tension in your jaw, your shoulders, and your heart. You are a drop of water returning to the vast, moonlit ocean. There is no separation between the drop and the sea. There is only the endless, rhythmic movement of peace. As you drift further into this velvet embrace, the boundaries of your body become soft and blurred. You are the mountain, the mist, and the silence between the cricket's songs. The night is a gentle teacher, showing you that darkness is simply the light resting. Rest now, for the temple of your mind is quiet. The candles have been extinguished, and the incense has turned to silver ash. The stars above are watching over you with ancient, silent eyes. You are safe. You are held. You are whole. Every cell in your body is now singing a song of gratitude, a silent melody that carries you deeper into the softest clouds of slumber. Let the river of your life carry you into the harbor of the night. There are no more questions to answer, and no more stories to tell. There is only the breath, the stillness, and the infinite peace that resides in the center of your being. May your dreams be as clear as a mountain spring and as gentle as the falling snow. The journey of the day is over, and the sanctuary of the night has opened its doors wide for you. Step through the threshold and leave everything behind. Sleep now in the arms of the great silence. Sleep now in the light of the inner sun. The quietude is your home. Listen to the fading echo of all things as you simply sleep. Welcome, traveler of the inner path. As the sun dips below the horizon and the world settles into the velvet embrace of the night, I invite you to set aside the heavy burdens of your day. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a great, silent forest, where the air is cool and scented with the fragrance of cedar and ancient stone. Here, the noise of the world cannot reach you. The frantic pulse of your worries begins to slow, matching the rhythmic heartbeat of the earth. Take a deep, slow breath in, feeling the coolness fill your lungs. And as you exhale, let go of the tension held in your shoulders and the tightness in your chest. You are safe here. You are entering a space where time does not exist and where the only task is to be present with your own soul. The journey we take tonight is one of gentle transformation, a path that leads through the shadows of our own suffering and toward the luminous clarity of a quiet mind. Allow my voice to be your guide as we walk together toward the stillness of the heart. The moon rises high above a secluded mountain monastery, casting a silver glow upon the weathered wooden gates. You walk slowly along the stone path, your footsteps making a soft, rhythmic sound against the earth. Everything around you is bathed in tranquility. The wind whispers through the bamboo stalks, a sound like a distant flute, reminding you that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. You reach the Hall of Silence, a simple structure where the air is thick with the scent of sandalwood incense. Inside, the flickering light of a single candle reveals a large, ancient mirror hanging on the far wall. This mirror has stood here for centuries, witnessing the passage of countless seasons. But as you approach, you notice that the surface is clouded. A thick layer of dust has settled upon it, obscuring the reflection. This mirror is a symbol of the soul, and the dust represents the pain, the regrets, and the many sorrows we collect as we move through the world. In the teachings of the masters, we are told that the mind is like this bright mirror on a stand. We are taught to brush it clean every day so that no dust may alight. But perhaps there is a deeper truth to be found in the dust itself. We often view our pain as an intruder, a blemish that ruins the beauty of our lives. We try to hide from it, to push it away, or to pretend it is not there. Yet it is the very presence of the dust that allows us to realize there is a mirror beneath it. Without the suffering we endure, we might never seek the truth of who we are. Pain is not a sign of failure, nor is it a punishment. It is a call to awakening. It is the friction that creates the spark of awareness. As you stand before the mirror in the dim light, you do not feel anger toward the dust. Instead, you feel a profound sense of compassion for yourself and for the journey you have taken. Every speck of dust represents a moment of struggle, a tear shed in the dark, a dream that did not come true. These are the elements of your humanity. You pick up a soft, white cloth and begin to clean the mirror, not with force, but with a gentle, rhythmic motion. As you wipe away the first layer of dust, you feel a sense of lightness entering your spirit. This act of cleaning is not about changing who you are, but about returning to your original nature. The mirror does not lose anything when it is covered in dust, and it does not gain anything when it is clean. Its capacity to reflect the world remains perfect and unchanged, regardless of what sits upon its surface. Your true self is exactly like this. The pain you have experienced, the anxiety that has gripped your heart, and the shadows of your past have never touched the core of your being. They are merely layers of dust that have temporarily dimmed your light. With every slow stroke of the cloth, you are peeling back the illusions. You are seeing through the stories you have told yourself about your own unworthiness or your own brokenness. Listen to the sound of the cloth against the glass. It is a soothing, repetitive sound that lulls your mind into a deeper state of relaxation. You notice that as the mirror becomes clearer, the reflection of the candle flame becomes brighter. The light was always there, waiting to be revealed. When we turn our pain into awakening, we are not getting rid of the pain. We are changing our relationship to it. We look at the dust and we say, "Thank you for showing me where the mirror is." We recognize that the very things that hurt us are the tools that carve out space within us for peace to dwell. A vessel must be empty to be useful, and sometimes life must break us open so that we can be filled with something new. Feel the tension leaving your body as you embrace this realization. You do not need to fight your history. You do not need to be ashamed of your scars. They are the texture of a soul that has lived, loved, and learned. The air in the Hall of Silence grows even stiller. You can hear the distant trickle of a mountain stream, a constant reminder of the flow of life. Just as the water flows over the rocks, smoothing their jagged edges over time, your breath flows through your body, smoothing the sharp edges of your thoughts. You continue to clean the mirror, moving with a slow and deliberate grace. You are not in a hurry to reach the end. The act of cleaning is itself the meditation. In this moment, there is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only the movement of your hand, the softness of the cloth, and the gradual emergence of clarity. You see your own eyes reflected in the glass now. They are eyes that have seen much, yet they remain clear. Behind the reflection, there is a vastness, a depth that cannot be measured. You are not just the person in the mirror, you are the awareness that observes the reflection. You are the space in which the mirror exists. As the last of the dust is cleared away, the mirror shines with a soft, celestial light. It reflects the entire room, the candle, the shadows, and the moonlight streaming through the window. It accepts everything and rejects nothing. This is the state of tranquility we seek. A mind that is like a clear mirror does not cling to the images that pass before it. When a bird flies by, the mirror reflects the bird. When the bird is gone, the mirror is empty again. It does not try to hold on to the bird, nor does it mourn its departure. When you allow your pain to pass through you without grasping it, you become like this mirror. You experience the sensation, you acknowledge the lesson, and then you let it go. The pain becomes a teacher that has finished its lesson and departed, leaving you wiser and more at peace. Rest now in this clarity. Feel the coolness of the temple floor beneath your feet and the warmth of the candlelight on your skin. The mirror of your soul is clean, and the reflection is one of pure, undisturbed peace. You have turned the dust of your suffering into the light of your awakening. Every breath you take is a celebration of this new-found stillness. The world outside is quiet, and the world inside is even quieter. You are drifting closer to the edge of sleep, where the reflections fade and only the vast, silent ocean of consciousness remains. You are whole. You are clear. You are free. Let the rhythm of your breathing carry you deeper into this tranquility, knowing that the mirror is always there, perfect and shining, beneath whatever dust the world may bring. Sleep now, in the heart of the silence. As you stand before the mirror of your soul, the reflection begins to soften and blur, turning into the gentle mist of a mountain morning. You find yourself walking along a narrow path carved into the side of a great, silent peak. The air here is thin and pure, carrying the scent of ancient stone and the hidden fragrance of wildflowers that bloom only in the moonlight. Every step you take is a deliberate act of presence. You feel the ground beneath your feet, solid and supportive, reminding you that you are always held by the earth, no matter how high your thoughts may climb. In your hand, you carry a heavy wooden staff, and upon your shoulders, you feel the weight of a great burden. This burden is not made of wood or stone, but of the many stories you tell yourself about who you are and what the world expects of you. It is the weight of yesterday and the pressure of tomorrow. As the path winds higher, you see a small stone bridge crossing a stream that sings with the voice of melting snow. Sitting on a flat rock by the water is an old man, his robes the color of the twilight sky. He does not look up as you approach, but his presence is as vast and welcoming as the valley below. You stop beside him, feeling the ache in your shoulders from the weight you carry. He gestures for you to sit, and in the silence between the rushing water and the wind in the pines, he asks you a single question. He asks you why you have chosen to bring the mountain with you when you are already standing upon it. You look at the heavy pack on your back and realize that you have been clutching it so tightly that your fingers have grown numb. You have forgotten that you have the power to let it go. The old man picks up a small, smooth pebble from the edge of the stream. He holds it out in his open palm and tells you that if you hold this pebble for a minute, it is light and effortless. If you hold it for an hour, your arm will begin to ache. If you hold it for a day, your limb will grow paralyzed with the strain. The weight of the pebble never changes, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes to your spirit. This is the nature of the mind. We carry our worries and our identities as if they are permanent structures, when they are merely pebbles we have forgotten to put down. With a deep, shuddering breath, you reach for the straps of your burden. You unbuckle the weight of your expectations and the heavy armor of your defenses. You let the pack slide from your shoulders and rest it upon the mossy ground. The relief is instantaneous and profound. It is as if the gravity of the world has suddenly shifted, allowing your spirit to float upward like a prayer. Your shoulders drop away from your ears, your chest opens, allowing the cool mountain air to fill the very bottom of your lungs. You realize that you are not the things you carry. You are the one who walks the path. You are the space in which the walking happens. The old man smiles, a slow and knowing movement of his features, and points to the stream. He tells you that the water does not struggle to reach the sea. It does not worry about the rocks in its way or the bends in the channel. It simply follows the path of least resistance, trusting in the pull of the earth and the destiny of its own nature. It flows because that is what it is. You watch the water dancing over the stones, and you begin to feel your own consciousness becoming fluid. The rigidity of your thoughts is melting away. You are no longer a solid object moving through a difficult world. You are a movement of grace. You are a ripple in the great cosmic ocean. The sun begins to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of violet, indigo, and deep velvet black. The stars begin to emerge, one by one, like distant lanterns lighting the way home. Each star is a reminder of the vastness that exists both above you and within you. There is so much room inside your heart for peace. There is so much room in your mind for silence. The old man stands and walks toward a small hut nestled among the trees. He invites you to rest, not as a guest, but as a part of the mountain itself. You follow him into the shadows of the hut, where the air is warm and smells of dried herbs and cedar smoke. You lie down on a bed of soft furs, feeling the exhaustion of your journey finally catching up to you. But it is a beautiful exhaustion, the kind that comes after a long day of honest work. Your body feels heavy and grounded, sinking into the earth, while your mind feels light and expansive, drifting toward the stars. The sound of the stream outside becomes a lullaby, a repetitive and soothing rhythm that washes over your senses. You are no longer trying to understand the world. You are no longer trying to solve the puzzles of your life. You are simply being. The darkness of the room is not empty. It is full of potential, full of the quiet energy of the night. You feel the boundaries of your body beginning to dissolve. Where does the bed end and your skin begin? Where does your breath end and the air begin? The distinctions are fading. You are part of the room, part of the mountain, part of the night sky. In this state of total surrender, you realize that the peace you have been seeking was never something to be found at the end of the path. It was the path itself. It was the moment you decided to put down the stone. It was the moment you allowed yourself to be empty. You are like a bowl that has been turned upright to catch the falling rain. You are open. You are receptive. You are ready to receive the gift of deep, restorative sleep. The thoughts that once felt like thunder now feel like the distant humming of a bee. They are far away, unimportant, and fading fast. As you drift closer to the threshold of dreams, the image of the mountain fades into a soft, golden glow. You are floating in a sea of tranquility, where the waves are made of moonlight and the tide is the rhythm of your own heart. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. You have arrived. You are home. The silence is your blanket, and the darkness is your sanctuary. Let yourself go. Let the current take you. Sink down into the velvet depths of the night, knowing that you are safe, you are loved, and you are whole. The world will wait for you. The morning will come in its own time. But for now, there is only the peace of the mountain, the song of the stream, and the infinite, beautiful dark. Sleep now. Sleep in the heart of the void. Sleep in the light of the stars. Sleep. As your breath becomes a faint whisper, like the distant rustle of bamboo leaves, the boundaries of your body begin to dissolve into the cool air of the sanctuary. There is no longer a distinction between the mountain and your spirit, or the stars and your dreams. You have become the very essence of the stillness that surrounds you. Every worry has withered like an autumn leaf falling into a clear pool, vanishing without a ripple. The great void is not empty, but full of a gentle radiance that cradles your soul in absolute security. Trust in this profound silence. Allow the ancient rhythm of the earth to beat in harmony with your slowing heart. You are a drop of water, returning to the vast, moonlit ocean. There is nothing left to do. Rest in the cradle of the eternal now. Drift deeper, sink further. Fade into the soft, tender, eternal embrace of peace. Welcome home, weary traveler. You have carried the heavy stones of the day for many miles, and now the sun has dipped below the horizon, leaving only the soft silver glow of the rising moon to light your path. In this sacred space we have created together, there is no need to perform, no need to hide, and no need to push away the shadows that flicker in the corners of your mind. We often think of pain as an intruder, a thief that steals our peace. But tonight we shall see it differently. We shall treat our discomfort like a guest who has traveled from a distant land to bring us a message we have long forgotten. Close your eyes now, and let the air move through you like a gentle breeze through an ancient bamboo grove. You are safe. You are held. Let us begin the journey of turning your burdens into the very light that guides you home. Imagine yourself walking through a vast, silent forest at the edge of twilight. The air is cool and smells of damp cedar, crushed moss, and the sweet, heavy scent of night-blooming jasmine. Your feet feel heavy, and every step you take carries the memory of the struggles you have faced today. There is a tightness in your chest, a knot of tension in your neck, and a dull ache in your limbs that feels like a physical weight you have been forced to wear. Instead of fighting this weight or wishing it away, I want you to find a clearing where the ground is covered in a thick, velvet carpet of fallen leaves and soft, dark soil. This is the womb of the earth, a place that has seen 1,000 seasons of growth and decay, a place that knows the secret of turning old life into new beginnings. Lie down slowly upon this natural bed. Feel the immediate, unwavering support of the ground beneath you. The earth does not judge the shape of your body, the height of your status, or the heaviness of your heart. It simply receives you as you are. As you lie there, notice the specific points where your body touches the soil. Feel your heels sinking slightly into the moss. Feel your calves, your thighs, and your lower back being cradled by the undulating surface of the forest floor. With every breath you release, imagine that the boundaries of your skin are beginning to soften and blur. You are like a piece of salt returning to the great, salt-rich ocean, or a single drop of rain meeting the parched ground after a long drought. The earth is ancient and vast, and it possesses a quiet power that we often forget. It knows how to transform everything it touches. It takes the fallen, brittle leaf and turns it into rich, life-giving soil. It takes the bitter cold of winter and holds it until it can be released as the blossoms of spring. It can take your pain, too. It can take the sharp edges of your anxiety and the heavy lead of your exhaustion. Feel the tension in your jaw beginning to melt away. Let it seep downward into the dark, cool earth below your head. The earth is hungry for your burdens. It does not find them heavy or overwhelming. To the earth, your stress is simply raw energy, waiting to be recycled into something beautiful and new. Move your awareness to your shoulders. They have been held high for so long, braced against the world like shields in a storm. Now, let them drop. Feel them sinking an inch deeper into the fragrant moss. Imagine the fibers of your muscles loosening like old, weathered ropes, finally being untied after years of tension. There is a profound and holy relief in letting go of the effort to hold yourself together. The pain you have carried is not an enemy to be conquered. It is a signal, a bell ringing in the silence of your soul, calling you back to the present moment. When we resist our pain, we create a second layer of suffering that is far heavier than the first. But when we dissolve into the earth, we stop resisting. We become one with the flow of existence. Listen to the sound of the earth breathing beneath you. It is a slow, rhythmic pulse that matches the beating of your own heart. You are not separate from this ground. You are made of the same stardust, the same minerals, and the same ancient clay. As you sink deeper, your legs feel as light as feathers, yet as grounded as the roots of an ancient oak tree that reach deep into the hidden aquifers of the world. The soil is cool and comforting, wrapping around your limbs like a heavy, warm blanket of silk. You are becoming part of the landscape. The thoughts that once raced through your mind are like clouds passing over a still mountain lake. They do not disturb the depths of the water. Deep down, where you are merging with the earth, there is only stillness. There is only the quiet, invisible alchemy of awakening. Think of the lotus flower, the symbol of our journey. The lotus does not grow in the sterile environment of a high mountain peak or a clean laboratory. It grows in the thick, dark, and often forgotten mud at the bottom of the pond. Without that mud, without that heavy and murky substance, the lotus could never find the strength or the nutrients to rise toward the sun and bloom with such breathtaking purity. Your pain is your mud. It is the rich, fertile ground from which your wisdom and your compassion will grow. Do not turn away from it in anger. Do not hate the parts of yourself that hurt. Instead, let them dissolve into the earth along with the rest of your physical form. You are no longer a person trying to find sleep. You are the earth itself, resting after a long day of creation. The trees above you whisper ancient secrets to the passing wind, and the distant stars watch over you with silent, silver compassion. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do or achieve. Every cell in your body is now vibrating with the low, healing frequency of the earth. You are being replenished in ways you cannot see. You are being healed in the deep silence of this dissolution. The heaviness you once felt in your chest has opened up. It has become a wide, empty space where light can finally enter. This is the beginning of the awakening. It starts with the total surrender of the physical self. It starts with the realization that you are supported by a power much greater than your own individual will. Breathe in the scent of the damp earth, and breathe out the very last remnants of your resistance. You are sinking, you are drifting, and you are becoming the very ground of being. In this union, the pain is no longer yours. It belongs to the earth now, and the earth knows exactly what to do with it. You are free to rest. You are free to become the light that rises from the dark soil. The light that rises from the dark soil is not a flickering flame that can be extinguished by the wind. It is a steady, ancient glow that has existed since before the stars were born. It is the light of awareness that remains when all the stories we tell ourselves have finally faded away. As you lie here, resting in the cradle of the earth, imagine that this light is beginning to permeate every cell of your being. It is a soft, golden warmth that does not burn, but instead dissolves the last boundaries between you and the universe. There is a story of an old tea master who lived in a small hut at the base of a great, mist-covered mountain. For many years, people traveled from far and wide to ask him about the meaning of life and the secret to peace. The master would simply serve them tea in silence. One day, a young scholar arrived, full of nervous energy and many questions. He spoke at length about his anxieties, his ambitions, and his fears of the future. The master listened without interruption, his eyes kind and steady. When the scholar finally paused for breath, the master began to pour tea into the scholar's cup. He kept pouring even after the cup was full. The tea spilled over the rim, onto the table, and eventually onto the scholar's robes. The young man cried out in surprise, asking the master why he continued to pour when the cup was clearly full. The master smiled gently and said that, like this cup, The scholar was so full of his own opinions, his own worries, and his own ideas, that there was no room for anything else. To find peace, one must first become empty. As you breathe now, feel yourself becoming like that empty cup. You are letting go of the need to be someone, the need to achieve, and the need to understand. You are simply a vessel, open and receptive. The silence that surrounds you is not an absence of sound, but a presence of profound peace. It is the same silence that exists between the notes of a beautiful song or the stillness that lives at the center of a spinning wheel. In this emptiness, there is no room for anxiety. There is no room for the weight of yesterday or the shadows of tomorrow. There is only the vast, clear sky of your own consciousness. Think of the mountain that stood behind the tea master's hut. The mountain does not try to be tall. It does not worry if the clouds obscure its peak or if the snow covers its slopes. It simply sits. It endures the changing seasons with a quiet grace, knowing that beneath the shifting weather, its foundation remains unmoved. You are that mountain. The thoughts that drift through your mind are like the clouds. Some are dark and heavy with rain, while others are light and wispy. But they are not the mountain. They are merely passing through. You can watch them come and you can watch them go, without feeling the need to reach out and hold on to them. Let your breath be the wind that gently moves these clouds along. With every exhale, you are releasing a thought, a memory, or a concern. You are clearing the sky of your mind until only the deep, infinite blue remains. This is the state of the unborn, a place where nothing is created and nothing is destroyed. It is the source of all things, the quiet womb of reality. In this space, you are not a body, you are not a name, and you are not a history. You are the very essence of life itself, expressing itself as a moment of pure, unadulterated rest. Consider the lotus flower, which gives our path its name. The lotus begins its life in the mud at the bottom of a pond. It must push through the dark, murky water to reach the surface. But when it finally blooms, it is unstained by the mud from which it grew. Its petals are pure, and it opens itself fully to the sun. You have pushed through the mud of your daily life, the struggles and the pressures that often feel overwhelming. Now, you have reached the surface. You are opening your heart to the quiet light of the moon. You are realizing that the mud was necessary for your growth, but it does not define you. You are the bloom, radiant and free. As you drift deeper into this tranquility, feel the weight of your limbs becoming one with the bed beneath you. Your body is like a heavy stone, sinking slowly to the bottom of a clear, still lake. As the stone sinks, the ripples on the surface of the water begin to smooth out. The water becomes so still that it acts like a perfect mirror, reflecting the stars and the vastness of the night sky. This is the mirror of your soul. When the mind is still, it reflects the truth of the universe. It reflects the fact that you are safe, that you are loved, and that you are an integral part of the great tapestry of existence. There is no separation. The breath you take is the same air that moves through the trees and fills the lungs of every living creature. The heat in your blood is the same energy that burns in the heart of the sun. You are a localized expression of the infinite. The path to deep sleep is a path of total surrender. It is the final act of trust. You are trusting that the world will continue to turn without your intervention. You are trusting that your body knows how to heal itself in the quiet hours of the night. You are trusting that the darkness is not a void to be feared, but a sanctuary where you can be renewed. In the Zen tradition, there is a saying that when you walk, you should just walk, and when you sit, you should just sit. Now, as you sleep, just sleep. Do not try to sleep. Do not count the minutes or worry about the morning. Simply allow the sleep to rise up and meet you, like a tide coming in to cover the shore. The sand does not resist the water, it welcomes it, letting the cool waves wash away the footprints of the day. Your mind is that shore, and the sleep is the ocean. Let it come. Let it wash over you, smoothing out the edges of your spirit, cooling the fires of your ambition, and bringing you into the deep, dark, and beautiful mystery of the night. You are the light, you are the soil, and you are the silence. Everything is as it should be. Rest now, in the heart of the lotus. Rest in the arms of the eternal. The world outside your window has faded into a soft shadow. The sounds of the day have dissolved like salt in a vast and silent sea. You are no longer the one who strives or the one who seeks. You are simply the breath itself, a gentle rise and fall that mirrors the rhythm of the universe. In this sacred space, there is no past to carry and no future to plan. There is only the presence of this moment, as soft as a falling petal landing on still water. Feel the weight of your body becoming one with the earth beneath you. The earth supports you without question, holding you in a cradle of ancient peace. Imagine a single candle flame flickering in a room without wind. The light is steady, warm, and gold. As you watch this light in your mind, see it slowly grow smaller and softer. It does not go out, but rather, it transforms into a soft glow that fills your entire chest. This is your inner light, the part of you that remains untouched by the storms of life. It is the silent witness that watches the clouds pass by without being moved. Let this light guide you into the deeper reaches of your consciousness, where the waters are calm and the depths are infinite. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, let go of the need to understand or define. Words are like birds that have flown away into the twilight. Only the silence remains, and in this silence, you are whole. You are the mountain that does not move. You are the river that does not hurry. You are the sky that holds everything but clings to nothing. The night is a velvet curtain drawn across the world to allow your spirit to rest and renew. There is a profound kindness in the darkness. It invites you to surrender, to trust, and to simply be. Every cell in your body is now drinking from the well of tranquility. The tension has melted away, leaving only a sense of lightness and grace. You are floating on a sea of stars, where each point of light is a blessing. Sleep is not an ending, but a return to the source. It is the home you never truly left. Close your eyes to the world and open your heart to the infinite peace that dwells within. The lotus has closed its petals for the night. Sleep now. Welcome, traveler of the inner path, to this quiet sanctuary of the spirit. As the moon ascends to its silent throne and the world outside softens into deep shadows, I invite you to set down the heavy burdens you have carried through the long day. In this sacred space, there is no need for armor and no need for resistance. We are here to sit by the quiet waters of the mind and listen to the whispers of the ancient heart. Tonight, we explore a profound alchemy. We look at the thorns that have pricked us and the wounds that still ache, not with fear, but with the steady gaze of a gardener who knows that even the sharpest frost prepares the soil for spring. Breathe deeply now. Let the air move through you like a mountain breeze, clearing the mist from your spirit. You are safe. You are held. You are beginning to awaken. Imagine you are sitting on the weathered wooden porch of a small temple tucked deep within a cedar forest. The air is cool and carries the scent of damp earth and ancient wood. Before you, a narrow stream winds its way through moss-covered stones, its voice a soft and constant murmur that seems to hum a lullaby to the trees. It is twilight, that magical hour where the light of the sun has faded, but the darkness of night has not yet fully claimed the land. In this blue hour, everything feels fluid and soft. You can feel the tension in your shoulders beginning to dissolve, melting away like wax near a flame. Your breath slows down, matching the steady rhythm of the forest. In our journey through life, we often view pain as an intruder. We see it as a thief that steals our peace or a wall that blocks our path. We spend so much of our energy trying to push it away, trying to build fortresses around our hearts so that we might never feel the sting of sorrow or the weight of disappointment again. But here, in the stillness of the mountain, we learn a different way. We learn that pain is not a wall, but a doorway. It is not an end, but a beginning. Consider the stream before you. See how the water encounters a large, jagged rock in its path. The water does not stop. It does not argue with the stone. It does not cry out in frustration because the way is blocked. Instead, the water simply flows. It meets the sharp edge of the rock with a softness that is more powerful than any force. Over time, the constant, gentle touch of the water begins to smooth the jagged edges. What was once sharp becomes rounded. What was once a barrier becomes a part of the stream's unique music. This is the art of turning suffering into a gentle stream of lessons. When we resist our pain, we create a friction that burns. We turn a simple wound into a long-lasting ache. But when we allow ourselves to soften, when we breathe into the discomfort and greet it with the curiosity of a sage, the nature of the pain begins to change. It ceases to be a monster and becomes a teacher. It tells us where we are holding on too tightly. It shows us where we have forgotten to love ourselves. It points toward the parts of our soul that are calling out for light. Close your eyes now and feel the weight of your body against the earth. Feel the points of contact where you are supported. You do not have to hold yourself up. The earth is wide and strong, and it has been waiting to carry you. As you sit in this mental temple, imagine that every ache in your body and every worry in your mind is like a dark, heavy cloud. Do not try to blow the clouds away. Do not try to hide them. Simply watch them. Notice how they drift. Notice their shapes and their colors. And then, see them begin to release their burden. See the clouds turn into a fine, silver rain. This rain is your suffering, but it is no longer heavy. It is falling gently upon the dry ground of your experience. It is soaking into the soil of your being. This rain is necessary. Without it, the flowers of compassion could never bloom. Without the moisture of our own tears and the lessons of our own struggles, our hearts would remain hard and barren like a desert. Listen to the sound of the rain hitting the cedar needles and the stone basin in the temple garden. Each drop is a moment of release. Each drop is a lesson being integrated into the depths of your soul. You are learning that you are much larger than your pain. You are the vast sky that holds the clouds. You are the deep ocean that remains still even when the surface is tossed by storms. There is a profound relaxation that comes when we stop fighting our own history. When we say to our pain, "I see you, and I am willing to learn from you." The grip of anxiety begins to loosen. The tightness in your chest begins to expand into a wide, open space. Think of a potter working with clay. The clay must be pressed and shaped, sometimes even beaten, to remove the air bubbles that would cause it to shatter in the fire. The pressure feels like suffering to the clay, but the potter knows it is the only way to create a vessel that can hold water or light. You are both the clay and the potter. Your experiences are the hands that shape you, and your awareness is the fire that makes you strong. Do not fear the pressure. Do not fear the heat. You are being, formed into something of exquisite beauty and resilience. As you breathe in, imagine you are drawing in the cool blue mist of the mountain. It fills your lungs with clarity and peace. As you breathe out, let go of the need to understand why everything has happened exactly as it did. Let go of the why and settle into the is. You are here, you are breathing, you are alive. The stream continues to flow, carrying away the remnants of your resistance. The water is clear and cold, washing over the stones of your memories, smoothing them, making them shine like jewels under the rising moon. Your suffering is becoming a teacher of gentleness. It is teaching you how to walk softly upon the earth. It is teaching you how to listen to the silent suffering of others with a heart that is wide open. This is the awakening. It is not a sudden flash of light, but a gradual softening, a slow turning of the soul toward the truth of its own nature. You are not broken, you are being refined. You are not lost, you are simply traveling through a forest that requires you to slow down and notice the moss, the shadows, and the quiet beauty of the dark. Feel the relaxation spreading through your limbs now, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. It is a heavy, warm sensation, like being wrapped in a thick wool blanket by a dying fire. The lessons of the day have been gathered. The harvest of your experiences is complete. You have turned the sharp stones into a path, and the path leads directly to the heart of peace. The stream is singing you towards sleep, a deep and restorative sleep, where the alchemy of the soul continues in the silence of dreams. Rest now, dear traveler. The water is flowing, the lessons are learned, and the night is kind. The night is kind, and within this kindness there is a vast space for you to simply exist. As you lie there, the boundaries of your body seem to soften, blending into the gentle darkness of the room. Think of an old monk who lived many centuries ago, in a small hut nestled against the side of a misty mountain. This monk spent his entire life seeking the ultimate truth, reading thousands of scrolls and sitting in meditation until his knees grew stiff and his hair turned the color of winter clouds. One evening, as the full moon rose over the jagged peaks, he walked to the well with a wooden bucket to fetch water for his tea. As he lowered the bucket into the deep, dark earth, he saw the moon reflected perfectly in the still water within. He pulled the bucket up, careful not to disturb the liquid silver dancing on the surface. He felt a sudden, intense surge of joy. He believed he had finally captured the light. He believed he held the essence of the heavens in his very hands. He walked slowly back toward his hut, his eyes fixed on the shimmering circle in the bucket, terrified that a single stumble might cause the moon to shatter or spill onto the dry ground. But as he reached his doorstep, the old wooden staves of the bucket, weathered by time and the elements, suddenly gave way. The bottom fell out. The water crashed onto the earth, soaking into the dust, and the reflection of the moon vanished in an instant. The monk stood there in the silence, holding nothing but a hollow frame of wood. In that moment of total loss, he looked up at the sky. He saw the real moon, vast and eternal, hanging in the infinite void. He realized that he had spent his life trying to catch reflections in a fragile vessel, forgetting that the source of light was always there, unburdened and free. He began to laugh, a deep and resonant sound that echoed through the pines. He no longer needed the bucket. He no longer needed to carry the weight of the water. He was finally empty, and in that emptiness, he was whole. You are like that monk, and the day you have just lived is the water in the bucket. Throughout the hours, you have tried to hold on to moments, to solve problems, and to contain the vastness of life within the small vessel of your mind. But now, the bucket has broken. The water has returned to the earth. You are standing in the moonlight, and there is nothing left for you to carry. Feel the relief of that broken vessel. Feel the freedom of having nothing to hold. The worries that seemed so solid only a few hours ago were merely reflections on the surface of a temporary container. Now that the container is gone, the reflections have faded, leaving only the reality of the quiet night and your own steady breath. The air in your room is cool and still, a contrast to the warmth radiating from your limbs. This warmth is the glow of a life well lived, a fire that does not need to be fed anymore tonight. Imagine your thoughts as autumn leaves, falling onto the surface of a deep, dark pond. They drift down, one by one, touching the water with a tiny ripple before slowly sinking into the depths. There is a leaf for every conversation you had today. There is a leaf for every task you completed. There is a leaf for every concern about tomorrow. Watch them sink. Watch them disappear into the cool, dark silt at the bottom of the pond. The surface becomes smooth again, a perfect mirror for the stars. In Zen, we speak of the original face, the self that exists before you were born and after you depart. This self does not know anxiety. This self does not know fatigue. It is like the sky, which remains blue and vast even when the fiercest storms pass through it. Tonight, you are returning to that sky. You are moving beyond the clouds of personality and the winds of circumstance. Each breath you take is a step deeper into this celestial stillness. You are not the person who works, or the person who worries, or the person who strives. You are the silent observer, the one who watches the breath move in and out like the tide of a distant, peaceful ocean. The weight of your head against the pillow is a physical manifestation of trust. You are trusting the earth to hold you. You are trusting the night to protect you. You are trusting your heart to keep its steady rhythm without any effort from your will. This trust is the highest form of meditation. It is the act of letting go of the oars and allowing the current of existence to carry your boat into the mist. There is no need to steer. There is no need to watch for rocks. The river knows the way to the sea, and your soul knows the way to sleep. Listen to the silence between my words. That silence is not empty. It is full of potential, like a seed waiting beneath the snow. It is a healing silence that knits together the frayed edges of your spirit. As you drift further down, the world of form begins to dissolve. The walls of your room, the furniture, the very ground beneath you, all seem to turn into a soft, luminous fog. You are floating in a sea of pure consciousness, where there is no heat or cold, no light or shadow. There is only the presence of being. The teachings tell us that everything is transient, and in this transience we find our greatest peace. Because the day has ended, the rest can begin. Because the work is done, the stillness can arrive. You are a part of this natural cycle, as certain as the turning of the planets. There is a great kindness in the way the universe allows us to forget ourselves every night. It is a small death that prepares us for a greater life. In sleep, you are forgiven for everything. You are washed clean of every mistake. You are renewed in the waters of the unconscious. Rest your mind now. Let the stories fade. Let the parables dissolve into the feeling of your own heartbeat. The moon is high, the bucket is broken, and the water has found its way home. You are home. You are safe. You are drifting into a sleep that is as deep as the mountain and as clear as the moonlit sky. There is nothing left to do but surrender. Surrender to the heaviness of your eyelids. Surrender to the softness of the bed. Surrender to the infinite peace that has been waiting for you all along. Sleep now. Sleep in the heart of the silence. Sleep in the arms of the eternal. All is well. All is still. All is peace. The moon now hangs high above the cedar trees, casting a silver glow over the mossy stones of the garden. The world has finished its labor for the day, and so have you. Every thought that once felt heavy has dissolved like mist in the morning sun. You are no longer the traveler seeking a destination. You are the destination itself. Feel the profound weight of your body as it settles into the earth, supported by the ancient strength of the mountains. Your breath is a gentle wave, rising and falling with the rhythm of the universe. There is no resistance here. There is only the vast, open space of your own awareness. In this space, there is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only the timeless present, wrapped in a blanket of velvet darkness. Let the sound of the distant temple bell echo one last time in your mind, a vibration of pure light that clears away the final remnants of the day. You are drifting now, floating on a sea of quietude where the stars reflect in the still waters of your soul. The boundaries of your being are softening, merging with the infinite night. You are the silence between the notes of a song. You are the stillness at the center of the storm. As you descend into the deep embrace of slumber, remember that you are held by a kindness that knows no end. The universe breathes through you, and you breathe through the universe. Close your eyes and let the warmth of this realization carry you into the dreamless dark. Sleep is the ultimate teacher, showing us how to let go of everything we think we are. Rest now. Rest deeply. Rest in the eternal light of your own quiet heart. Welcome, traveler, to this sanctuary of the mind and spirit. You have walked a long road today, and perhaps for many years, and the weight you carry has become familiar, like an old coat that no longer fits, but you are afraid to take off. The shadows are growing long now, and the world is beginning to fold into itself. Let your breath be the bridge between the noise of the day and the deep silence of this moment. We often run from what hurts, but here we sit with it. Like the moon reflecting on a troubled lake, we wait for the ripples to settle. Your weariness is not a burden, but a gateway. Allow your shoulders to drop. Let the tension in your jaw dissolve like mist in the morning sun. We are entering a space where every ache becomes a teacher and every sigh becomes a prayer. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Imagine you are standing on a narrow stone path, carved into the side of a great and ancient mountain. The air here is thin and crisp, carrying the scent of damp earth and the sharp fragrance of pine needles. Your body feels heavy. There is a dull ache in your joints and a tightness in your muscles that speaks of the miles you have traveled and the burdens you have refused to set down. In the world below, we are taught to hide our pain, to mask it with constant movement, or to drown it in the noise of 1,000 distractions. But here, on this high path, there is nowhere to run. The wind does not judge your exhaustion. The grey stones beneath your feet do not demand strength. There is only this moment, and the quiet pulse of your own life. As you stand still for the first time in hours, notice the sensation of discomfort in your body. Perhaps it is a pressure in your chest or a throbbing in your temples. Instead of pushing it away or wishing it were gone, try to look at it with the eyes of a gentle friend. This pain is not an intruder, it is a messenger. It is the body's way of saying that it has been carrying too much for too long. In the light of pure presence, we do not fight the darkness. We simply turn on the lamp. We acknowledge the ache. We say to ourselves, I see you. I feel you. You are allowed to be here. In the distance, the sun is beginning to dip behind the jagged peaks, turning the sky into a tapestry of soft violet and deep indigo. The birds have fallen silent, and the trees stand like silent sentinels, watching the transition from light to dark. And then it comes. A sound so low and so profound that it seems to rise from the ground itself rather than the air. It is the sound of the great bronze bell from the temple hidden deep within the mist. It does not strike with violence. It strikes with a deep, resonant compassion that vibrates through the very foundation of the mountain. Listen to the first vibration as it travels across the valley. It moves through the trees and over the still waters of the mountain lakes like a ripple on a pond. When the sound reaches you, do not just hear it with your ears, feel it in your bones. The bell reminds us that everything in this universe is a vibration. Your pain, your joy, your memories, and your dreams are all ripples in the same vast ocean. As the sound of the bell lingers, it begins to pull the sharp edges of your discomfort into its own resonance. The tightness in your chest begins to soften, the heat of your frustration begins to cool. The bell strikes a second time. This sound is even deeper than the first. It calls you back to the present moment. Often we suffer because we are living in a past that no longer exists, or a future that has not yet arrived. We carry the ghosts of yesterday's failures and the shadows of tomorrow's fears. But the bell only exists now. Its sound is a physical manifestation of the present. As the resonance washes over you, imagine it clearing away the clutter of your thoughts. Each wave of sound acts like a gentle broom, sweeping the dust from the floor of your mind. You are becoming empty. You are becoming spacious. In this space of pure presence, the pain you felt earlier begins to change its shape. It no longer feels like a solid wall. It feels like a cloud passing through a wide blue sky. You realize that you are not the pain. You are the sky that holds the cloud. You are the silence that holds the sound of the bell. This is the beginning of awakening. It is the realization that your true nature is untouched by the struggles of the physical world. The bell continues to ring, and with each strike, the boundary between you and the mountain begins to blur. You are the wind. You are the stone. You are the fading light. Observe how your breathing has changed. It is slower now, deeper, and more rhythmic. It follows the ebb and flow of the bell's echo. There is a profound relaxation that comes when we stop resisting what is. When we stop fighting our own bodies and our own minds, a hidden reservoir of peace begins to bubble up from within. This peace does not depend on things being perfect. It does not depend on the absence of pain. It is a peace that exists right in the middle of the storm. It is the stillness at the center of the turning wheel. The bell strikes a third time, and the sound seems to last forever. It fills the valley and then slowly, very slowly, begins to fade into the silence. But this silence is different from the one before. It is a pregnant silence, full of wisdom and light. In this quietude, you can hear the heartbeat of the world. You can feel the mountain breathing with you. The ache in your limbs has become a soft warmth, a glow that radiates from within. You are no longer trying to get anywhere. You have arrived. Stay in this presence. Let the distant bell be your anchor. Every time your mind tries to wander back to the worries of the world, gently bring it back to the sound of the silence. This silence is your true home. It is the place where all pain is transformed into understanding. It is the soil from which the lotus of awakening grows. You are resting now in the heart of the great mystery. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. You are simply here. You are simply being. The mountain is still. The sky is dark. The bell has spoken, and you have listened. Sleep now in the cradle of this resonance. Sleep in the peace of the eternal now. The breath is a bridge between the world of form and the world of the spirit. As you lie in the stillness, notice the air as it enters your body. It is cool and fresh, like the mist that clings to the cedar trees at dawn. It travels deep into your lungs, bringing with it the life force of the universe. And as you exhale, it is warm, carrying away the remnants of your day, the echoes of your worries, and the weight of your fatigue. Each breath is a cycle of birth and death, a miniature lesson in the art of letting go. You do not need to hold on to the air. If you hold it, you suffer. If you release it, you are nourished. Life is exactly like this. We suffer because we try to grasp the clouds, but we find peace when we allow the wind to blow through our open hands. In the silence of this room, imagine a great temple hidden in the folds of a distant mountain range. This temple has no walls and no roof. Its pillars are the ancient pines, and its ceiling is the vast, star-studded sky. You are sitting in the center of this temple, wrapped in a robe of moonlight. Before you sits a master whose face is as calm as a frozen lake. He does not speak with words, for words are like fingers pointing at the moon. If you look only at the finger, you miss the heavenly glory. Instead, he speaks with his presence. He shows you that the secret of the path is not to find something new, but to lose everything that is false. He tells you the story of a young monk who spent years trying to achieve enlightenment. The monk meditated for hours, read every scripture, and practiced every ritual. Yet his mind remained like a cage of restless birds. One day, he went to his teacher and cried out in frustration, asking when he would finally reach the other shore. The teacher pointed to a nearby stream and asked the monk if the water was trying to reach the ocean. The monk replied that the water simply flows because it is its nature to do so. The teacher smiled and said that the monk was trying too hard to be a wave, forgetting that he was already the water. When you stop trying to become something, you finally realize what you are. You are the flow, you are the depth, you are the destination itself. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the bed. This is the gravity of the earth. A gentle pull that reminds you that you belong here. You are not a stranger in this universe. You are a manifestation of the same energy that moves the planets and causes the flowers to bloom. You are the ancient light of the cosmos made flesh, resting for a moment in the cradle of time. There is a profound dignity in your stillness. There is a sacred quality to your rest. You are honoring the temple of your body by allowing it to return to its natural state of equilibrium. Think of a candle flame in a room where there is no draft. The flame is perfectly steady, pointing straight toward the heavens. Your mind is becoming like that flame. The flickering thoughts of tomorrow's tasks and yesterday's mistakes are fading away. They are like dry leaves caught in a whirlwind, spinning for a moment and then falling softly to the forest floor. Let them fall. Do not try to catch them. Do not try to arrange them. They are part of the earth now. They will turn into soil, and from that soil, new life will eventually spring. But for now, there is only the stillness of the flame. The darkness of the night is a medicine. It is a cool salve for eyes that have seen too much light, for a mind that has processed too much information. In the Zen tradition, we speak of the darkness as the womb of all things. Everything that exists came from the dark. The seed grows in the dark earth. The child grows in the dark womb. The stars are only visible because of the dark sky. Do not fear the shadows around you. They are the soft embrace of the infinite, protecting you, hiding you from the demands of the world. In this darkness you are invisible. You are safe. You are free from the gaze of others and the judgment of yourself. As you descend deeper into relaxation, imagine you are walking through a bamboo forest. The tall green stalks sway gently in the breeze, making a sound like the rustling of silk. Bamboo is a symbol of the Zen spirit because it is hollow and flexible. It bows before the storm, but it does not break. It is empty inside, and because it is empty, it can whistle in the wind. Be like the bamboo. Empty yourself of your pride, your fears, and your rigid ideas of how things should be. When you are hollow, the spirit of the universe can play its music through you. When you are flexible, no storm can shatter your peace. The sound of the temple bell you heard earlier is still vibrating within your cells. It is a subtle hum, a frequency of pure harmony. It is the sound of the void, which is not empty but full of life. This resonance is smoothing out the wrinkles in your soul. It is untying the knots in your muscles. From the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, a wave of liquid relaxation is washing over you. It is warm and heavy, like golden honey. It flows through your ankles, up your calves and into your knees. It fills your thighs and settles in your hips. Your lower body is now a part of the bed, a part of the earth. The wave moves upward, softening the belly, relaxing the heart, and broadening the shoulders. Your arms feel like heavy branches resting on the ground after a long summer. Your neck is free of tension. Your jaw is loose. The tiny muscles around your eyes are letting go. Your forehead is smooth, like a sheet of silk. You are a vessel of peace. You are a lake of tranquility. The moon is reflected perfectly on your surface, and there is not a single ripple to disturb the image. You are drifting now. The boundary between the waking world and the world of dreams is thinning. It is like a mist rising over a river at dusk. You can see the other side, but it does not matter which side you are on. Both are part of the same journey. In the world of sleep, you will find the healing you need. Your spirit will wander through the gardens of the unconscious, gathering the wisdom that can only be found in the silence. You will be renewed. You will be restored. The mountain is still. The forest is quiet. The great mystery is breathing through you. There is nothing left to say. There is nothing left to think. There is only the long, slow slide into the depths of the night. Sleep now, traveler of the path. Sleep in the arms of the Buddha. Sleep in the heart of the lotus. You are the silence. You are the light. You are the eternal now. The journey of the day has reached its final destination. As you lie here in the stillness, the boundary between your body and the cool air begins to fade. You are like a single drop of water returning to the vast, dark ocean of the night. There is no longer a need to hold on to the self. There is no longer a need to define who you are or where you have been. The path has led you home to the center of your own being. In this sacred space, the echoes of the world become a soft, distant hum. The rustle of the bamboo leaves outside your window is a lullaby sung by the earth itself. Every muscle in your body is now heavy with the weight of complete surrender. Your breath is a slow tide, pulling you deeper into the velvet darkness where dreams are born. You are safe. You are held by the infinite compassion of the universe. The moonlight rests upon your eyelids like a gentle blessing, washing away the last traces of effort. In the silence of the mountain, the great heart of existence beats in harmony with your own. There is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only this perfect moment of absolute rest. Your mind is a clear lake, undisturbed by even the slightest ripple. The lotus within you has closed its petals for the night, guarding the golden light of your spirit. Let go of the breath. Let go of the thought. Let go of the very idea of letting go. You are dissolving into the profound peace that surpasses all understanding. The stars are watching over your quiet form, and the ancient wisdom of the ancestors whispers that all is well. Sink now into the soft embrace of the void. The great mystery is your pillow. The silence is your blanket. You are home. You are free. You are one with the eternal peace. Sleep, sleep, sleep. May the stillness carry you across the river of night to the shores of a new dawn. Welcome, traveler of the inner light. You have arrived at the threshold of the night, a place where the echoes of the day begin to fade into the velvet silence of the void. Here, in the sanctuary of your own being, we gather to transform the heavy stones of your suffering into the light of understanding. Pain is often seen as a shadow that we must flee, yet in the garden of the soul, it is the dark earth that nourishes the most beautiful blossoms. Tonight, we do not turn away from the ache or the weariness. Instead, we cradle them with the gentleness of a mother holding a sleeping child. Allow your body to settle like a fallen leaf upon the surface of a still pond. Let go of the need to fix or to change, simply be. The breath is the bridge between the visible and the invisible. Imagine yourself standing on the shore of a vast, timeless ocean, under a sky filled with 1 billion stars. The water does not fight the shore, and the shore does not resist the water. There is only the eternal rhythm of the tide. As you inhale, feel the cool, silver mist of the cosmos entering your lungs, filling the spaces where tension has lived for too long. As you exhale, imagine your breath flowing back into the great dark expanse, carrying with it the heat of your struggles. Think of your pain as a heavy bell. When it is struck, the sound is loud and perhaps jarring. But if you listen closely, the vibration of that bell eventually softens, spreading out into the air until it becomes one with the silence. Your awakening begins in this very vibration. Do not try to silence the bell. Simply listen to its resonance. In the quiet of this room, your bed becomes a boat, drifting slowly away from the jagged rocks of the waking world. The waves are gentle. They are the waves of your own life force, pulsing in harmony with the rotation of the planets and the expansion of the universe. In the tradition of the ancient masters, we learn that the lotus flower cannot exist without the mud. The mud is thick, dark, and heavy. It is the place of our confusion and our physical hurts. Yet, it is precisely from this depth that the stem rises, seeking the light of the moon. Your pain is the mud. Your awareness is the flower. Feel the weight of your limbs now. Let them become heavy, sinking deep into the mattress, as if you were sinking into the warm, soft sand of that cosmic shore. The breath moves through you like a slow, glowing river. It travels to the places where you feel the most resistance. Perhaps there is a tightness in your chest or a dull ache in your back. Do not push it away. Instead, imagine your breath as a soft, golden light that wraps around the pain. This light does not seek to destroy the pain, for the pain is a part of your story. Instead, the light seeks to understand it. When we offer our suffering the gift of our presence, it begins to lose its sharp edges. It becomes fluid, like water. Consider the moon hanging high above the mountain peaks. It does not struggle to shine, it simply reflects the light that is already there. You are like the moon. Your true nature is luminous and vast. The clouds of physical discomfort or mental anxiety may drift across your face, but they do not change the essence of who you are. The moon remains, silver and serene, watching the world pass by in its long, slow cycles. As the tide of your breath pulls you deeper into the night, notice how the boundaries of your body begin to blur. You are no longer a separate island in a cold sea. You are the sea itself. The rise and fall of your chest is the rise and fall of the tide. The pulse in your veins is the pulse of the stars. In this state of merging, the pain you carried is no longer a burden. It is a wave that has reached the shore and is now returning to the depths. It is being recycled by the universe, turned back into pure energy. Listen to the silence between your breaths. That silence is the womb of all creation. It is the place where all things are born and where all things return to rest. As you drift closer to sleep, let the thought of turning pain into awakening be your anchor. You are learning the greatest alchemy of all. You are turning the lead of your human experience into the gold of spiritual peace. The universe is vast, and you are its child. There is nothing to fear in the darkness, for the darkness is only the light resting. Feel the coolness of the air on your skin. Feel the warmth of the blanket. These are the textures of existence. They remind you that you are alive, and that to be alive is to experience the full spectrum of being. The ache is a reminder of your sensitivity, and your sensitivity is the doorway to your enlightenment. A stone feels no pain, but a stone also cannot see the stars. You can see the stars. You can feel the wind. You can know the depth of your own heart. Now, let the image of the cosmic tide fill your mind completely. See the swirling galaxies, the clouds of stardust, and the deep indigo blue of the infinite. Your breath is the wind that moves these galaxies. With every slow, deliberate inhale, you are drawing in the wisdom of the ages. With every long, quiet exhale, you are releasing the need to control your destiny. You are safe. You are held by the same gravity that holds the moon in its orbit. You are part of a grand, beautiful design that is far larger than any single moment of discomfort. Imagine the sound of a distant temple gong, its sound carrying over a misty valley. That sound is your own heartbeat, steady and true. It is the drum of the earth. As you merge with this cosmic tide, you realize that your pain was merely a message from a part of you that felt forgotten. Now you are remembering. You are remembering that you are made of the same stuff as the constellations. You are a constellation of light and shadow, and both are necessary for the beauty of the night. The night is long, and the path is soft. There is no hurry to arrive anywhere. You have already arrived. You are here, in the present moment, where the pain meets the peace. Let them dance together. Let them merge until you can no longer tell where one ends and the other begins. This is the secret of the Zen master. To not fight the storm, but to become the wind. To not fight the ocean, but to become the water. As you drift, as you fade, as you sink into the velvet embrace of deep sleep, remember that you are the tide, and the tide is always coming home. Within this home, there is no separation. There is only the infinite, breathing through you, dreaming through you, and awakening through you. Sleep now, for you are the universe, observing itself in the quietest of hours. The silence of the mountain is not the absence of sound, but the presence of a deeper listening. Imagine yourself now, walking along a narrow path, lined with ancient cedar trees. The scent of damp earth and resin fills your lungs, a fragrance so pure it feels like drinking from a cold mountain spring. Your footsteps are silent on the carpet of fallen needles. You are not going anywhere, for in the world of the spirit, arriving is simply realizing you have never left. As you walk, the moonlight filters through the heavy branches, casting patterns of silver and shadow upon the ground. These patterns are like the thoughts in your mind, shifting and changing with the breeze, yet the ground beneath them remains unmoved and still. You reach a small clearing where an old well sits, its stones worn smooth by centuries of hands. Beside the well stands a humble bucket made of bamboo and held together by aged lacquer. This is the story of the seeker who spent a lifetime trying to carry the moon. For many years, the seeker would come to this well on the nights when the moon was full and round. They would lower the bucket into the dark depths and pull up the cold, clear water. In the reflection on the surface of the water, the moon would appear, perfect and bright. The seeker would try to carry this bucket back to their hut, desperate to keep the light, to own the beauty, and to find peace in the possession of that silver glow. But with every step, the water would ripple. The moon would shatter into 1,000 broken pieces of light. The seeker would grow frustrated, their heart heavy with the weight of the water and the fear of losing the reflection. They believed that if the water spilled, the moon would be gone forever. They believed that their peace depended on the stillness of the bucket and the strength of the wood. This is how we often live our lives, carrying the heavy buckets of our worries, our identities, and our desires, terrified that a single stumble will break the reflection of our happiness. One night, as the seeker walked the familiar path, the old bamboo strips of the bucket finally gave way. The bottom of the pail fell through, and the water crashed onto the dry earth, soaking into the soil in an instant. The seeker stood in the darkness, looking down at the empty, broken vessel. The weight was gone. The burden had vanished, and in that moment of total loss, the seeker looked up. There, hanging in the vast and infinite sky, was the real moon. It had never been in the bucket. It had never been something that could be spilled or broken. It was always there, shining with a light that required no effort to hold. No more water in the pail, no more moon in the water. Only the vastness remains. Only the silence remains. As you listen to these words, let your own bucket break. Let the water of your anxieties and the heavy wood of your expectations fall away. You do not need to carry the light. You are the space in which the light exists. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the surface beneath you. Just as the water soaked into the earth, let your tensions soak into the ground. Your shoulders are becoming light, as if the heavy yoke of the day has been lifted. Your hands, which have been grasping so tightly to the handles of your life, are now open and soft. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to catch. The moon of your true nature is already full, already bright, and it does not depend on the stillness of your circumstances. You are the sky, and the clouds of thought are merely passing through. Notice how naturally your breath moves, like the wind through the cedar trees. You do not have to tell the wind how to blow, and you do not have to tell your heart how to beat. There is a great intelligence at work within you, a silent wisdom that knows how to heal, how to rest, and how to return to center. Deep within the forest of your mind, there is a small temple with no walls. The roof is the stars, and the floor is the soft moss of memory. In the center of this temple, a single candle burns. The flame is steady and golden, unaffected by the storms of the world outside. This flame is your awareness. It is the part of you that remains awake even when you sleep, the part of you that observes the dreams without being swept away by them. As you drift closer to the threshold of sleep, imagine yourself sitting by this flame. The warmth of it radiates through your chest, melting any lingering coldness or fear. You are safe here. You are protected by the ancient laws of the universe. In this space, there is no time. There is no yesterday to regret, and no tomorrow to fear. There is only this singular, golden moment of being. The sounds of the world are fading now, becoming like the distant murmur of a stream. Stream flows over rocks and through valleys. Yet it never loses its way. It always finds the lowest point. It always finds the path of least resistance. Be like the water. Do not struggle against the obstacles of your thoughts. Simply flow around them. If a thought arises, acknowledge it as a leaf floating on the surface of your stream. Watch it drift by. Do not reach out to grab it. Do not try to pull it under. Let it go. The stream knows where it is going, and so do you. You are going toward the great stillness. You are going toward the place where all questions are answered by silence. As the darkness grows soft and velvet, let your vision turn inward. See the vast landscape of your inner world, a place of infinite peace and boundless light. You are drifting now on a boat with no oars and no sail. The current is gentle, and the stars are your only guide. There is no effort required. The boat moves because the river moves. You rest because the universe rests. Every cell in your body is now vibrating with the frequency of deep, restorative peace. Your bones feel like heavy mahogany sinking into the earth. Your skin feels like silk, cool and smooth. Your mind is a clear lake, reflecting nothing but the infinite depth of the night sky. Sleep is not a loss of consciousness, but a return to the source. It is the moment when the wave remembers it is the ocean. It is the moment when the dancer becomes the dance. As you cross the bridge into the land of dreams, carry with you the knowledge that you are whole, you are complete. You are exactly where you need to be. The Master does not seek the light. The Master knows they are the light. The Master does not seek peace. The Master is the peace. Let this truth settle into your marrow. Let it pulse through your blood. You are the universe dreaming of itself, and the dream is beautiful. The dream is kind. The dream is home. Sink down now, deeper and deeper, into the heart of the great mystery. Let the silence take you. Let the darkness hold you. Sleep in the arms of the infinite. Sleep in the grace of the eternal. All is well. All is still. All is one. The peaceful ripple on the pond has finally found its rest against the mossy bank. Every thought you once carried has dissolved like a grain of salt in the vast ocean of being. There is no longer a shore to reach because you have become the water itself. Feel the coolness of the moonlight as it bathes your spirit in silver light. There is no effort required to exist. There is no struggle needed to find grace. You are the silent mountain standing tall beneath the stars. You are the soft petal falling gently onto the damp earth. The night is a velvet blanket that knows your name and loves your soul without condition. Let your breath become a gentle whisper that echoes through the halls of eternity. Each inhale is a gift of life, and each exhale is a release into the divine nothingness. The boundaries of your body are fading into the soft glow of the night. Universe, you are safe. You are cherished by the very stars that illuminate the dark. As the candle flame flickers and fades into the shadows, your awareness expands to fill the entire cosmos. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. You have arrived at the center of the lotus. You have returned to the source of all light. Rest now in the cradle of the infinite silence. Let the waves of peace wash over you until there is only the rhythmic pulse of the heart of the world. Good night, traveler of the spirit. Sleep in the perfect unity of the One. Welcome to this space of profound rest. As the world outside grows quiet, let the internal noise begin to fade like ripples on a pond after a stone has settled at the bottom. You have carried the weight of your journey for many miles, and your shoulders bear the marks of your endurance. Tonight, we do not seek to escape your discomfort or hide from the shadows of your heart. Instead, we invite them to tea. We look at the pain not as a burden, but as a sacred fire that burns away the illusions of the self. In this stillness, the ache becomes a bridge. It leads you away from the frantic shore of doing and into the deep, dark waters of being. Close your eyes. Breathe into the center of your chest and prepare to surrender everything you think you are to the infinite peace of the void. In a remote valley where the mist clings to the pine needles like a soft white shroud, there stands an ancient temple. The wood is weathered, grayed by centuries of mountain rain and the gentle touch of the sun. Inside, a single candle flickers, its flame dancing in a rhythm that only the wind understands. You are there, sitting on a woven mat, feeling the cool earth beneath you. Perhaps there is a dull ache in your back, or a sharp pang of memory in your mind. These sensations are the language of the living. A Zen master once said that the lotus cannot bloom without the thick, dark mud of the pond. The mud is the pain. The flower is your awakening. As you lie here now, let your body become like that ancient temple. Feel the foundation of your bed supporting you, steady and unmoving. Your breath is the wind moving through the open rafters. It comes and goes, never staying, never clinging. Notice the areas where your body holds on to its stories. The tension in your jaw is a story of things left unsaid. The tightness in your chest is a story of fears held too tightly. We do not fight these stories. We simply listen to them with the compassion of a mother watching a sleeping child. Imagine a soft golden light beginning to glow at the very center of your pain. If your heart feels heavy, visualize that heaviness as a dense cloud. As you breathe in, the light grows brighter. As you breathe out, the cloud begins to thin. It does not disappear instantly, but it softens. It loses its sharp edges. You begin to realize that you are not the pain. You are the space in which the pain exists. You are the vast blue sky, and the pain is merely a storm passing through. The sky remains untouched by the lightning. The sky remains silent after the thunder has faded. Listen to the sound of the rain beginning to fall outside the temple walls. It is a slow, rhythmic tapping on the cedar roof. Each drop is a moment of time washing away a layer of your identity. With every splash, you let go of a name, a title, a worry, a regret. You are becoming lighter. You are becoming as thin as the mist in the valley. The pain that felt like a mountain is now just a grain of sand, and even that sand is being carried away by the tide of your breath. In the tradition of the Zen masters, there is a concept of total surrender. It is not a surrender of defeat, but a surrender of trust. It is the trust of a leaf letting go of the branch in autumn, knowing that the earth will catch it. You are that leaf. The branch is the day that has passed. The earth is the deep, dark sleep that waits for you. There is no need to hold on any longer. The branch has finished its work, and the ground is calling you home to the roots. Feel the warmth of your blanket, as if it were the hands of the universe tucking you in. The darkness behind your eyelids is not empty, it is full of potential. It is the womb of the night where all things are born and all things return. In this darkness, your physical form begins to dissolve. Your feet are no longer feet, they are part of the stillness. Your hands are no longer hands, they are part of the silence. The boundaries between your skin and the air are vanishing. You are expanding into the room, into the house, into the forest, into the stars. The pain you felt earlier was the friction of your soul rubbing against the world. But now, the world has fallen away. There is no friction in the void. There is only a smooth, glass-like tranquility. You are floating on a great, dark lake under a sky with no moon. The water is perfectly still. You are perfectly safe. Every cell in your body is drinking in this stillness. The cells are repairing themselves in the quiet. They are learning the lesson of the mountain, which stays still while the seasons change around it. Think of a great bell in a distant monastery. Someone has struck the bell, and the sound is vibrating through the air. At first, the sound is loud and clear, but as the seconds pass, the vibration becomes finer and finer. It becomes a hum, then a whisper, then a memory of a whisper. Eventually, the sound merges back into the silence from which it came. Your consciousness is like that sound. You are fading back into the source. You are returning to the great silence that existed before you were born and will exist long after you have gone. There is nothing left to solve tonight. There are no puzzles to finish, no wounds to heal. The healing happens on its own when you stop trying to fix yourself. By surrendering to the sleep, you are allowing the natural wisdom of your spirit to take over. It knows how to turn your suffering into peace. It knows how to weave the threads of your life into a tapestry of wisdom. All it requires from you is your absence. Step out of the way. Let the person you think you are disappear. The air in the temple is cool and smells of wet earth and old incense. The candle has burned down to a tiny blue flame. Soon it will go out, and the room will be perfectly dark. Do not be afraid of this darkness. It is the same darkness that nurtures the seed before it breaks through the soil. It is a kind darkness. It is a restorative darkness. It is the deep sleep of the Buddha, where there is no self and no other, no pain and no pleasure, only the infinite pulse of the universe. As you drift further down, the words you are hearing become like soft feathers falling on water. They don't sink, they just float away. You don't need to understand them anymore. You only need to feel the vibration of the peace they carry. You are sinking into the mattress as if it were a cloud. Your heart rate is slow, like the ticking of a clock in an empty hallway. Your mind is a clear mirror with nothing to reflect. Turning pain into awakening is simply the act of saying yes to this moment. Yes to the tiredness. Yes to the stillness. Yes to the end of the day. In this final surrender, you find that the pain was never an enemy. It was a guide, leading you by the hand to this very place of rest. It was the bell that woke you up, so that you could finally go to sleep. Rest now in the infinite stillness. Rest in the heart of the void. Sleep is the great meditation. Sleep is the ultimate awakening. The journey is over. The silence has arrived. You are home. The silence that now surrounds you is not an absence of sound, but a presence of peace. Imagine a vast, ancient forest where the trees have stood for 1,000 years. They do not hurry to grow. They do not worry about the changing seasons. They simply are. You are like those trees. Your roots reach deep into the dark, cool earth of your being. Your branches reach up toward the infinite sky of your consciousness. Between the earth and the sky, there is only this breath. Consider the story of the master who was asked about the secret of enlightenment. He replied that when he was hungry, he ate, and when he was tired, he slept. This sounds simple, but it is the hardest thing for the human heart to master. We eat while thinking of tomorrow. We sleep while clinging to yesterday. To truly sleep is to let go of every yesterday and every tomorrow. It is to be so present in this moment that the self begins to dissolve like a pinch of salt in a great, vast ocean. The salt does not disappear. It becomes the ocean. You are not losing yourself in sleep. You are becoming the totality of existence. Listen to the sound of the wind as it brushes against the eaves of your mind. It carries away the dust of your worries. It carries away the names you have been called and the roles you have played. You are no longer a worker or a provider or a seeker. You are the stillness itself. There is a beautiful old koan that asks what your face looked like before your parents were born. As you drift deeper into the velvet darkness, you begin to see that face. It is a face made of moonlight. It is a face made of the quiet between two notes of music. It is a face that has never known fear because it has never known separation. In the world of form, we are many. In the world of sleep, we are one. Think of a mountain lake at midnight. The water is so still that it becomes a perfect mirror for the stars. If a pebble falls into the water, the ripples spread out, and eventually they reach the shore, and the lake becomes still once more. Your thoughts are those ripples. Let them reach the shore. Let them fade into the soft moss and the quiet stones. Do not try to stop the ripples. Just watch them as they grow smaller and smaller until the surface of your mind is once again a perfect mirror for the infinite. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. The great work is finished. The sun has set and the moon has risen, and the stars are singing a lullaby that only your soul can hear. This is the wisdom of the void. It is not a void of nothingness, but a void of infinite potential. It is the womb of the universe, where all things are born and all things return to rest. You are returning to that womb now. You are safe. You are held. You are loved by the very fabric of existence. The darkness is not a wall. It is a soft blanket. It is the color of peace. It is the color of the deep sea where the light of the sun never reaches, but where the life is ancient and calm. Feel your body becoming lighter, as if you were floating on a cloud of incense smoke. The scent of sandalwood and cedar fills the air of your imagination. It is the scent of old temples and mountain shrines. It is the scent of eternity. As you breathe in the wisdom of the ages. As you breathe out, you release the last remnants of the day. There is a deep joy in this surrender. It is the joy of a river finally reaching the sea. The river has traveled over sharp rocks and through narrow canyons. It has been fast and it has been slow. It has been muddy and it has been clear. But now it sees the horizon. It smells the salt air. It realizes that it was never just a river. It was always the ocean in disguise. You were never just a person struggling through a day. You were always the infinite spirit having a human experience. And now, the experience is over for today. The spirit is coming home to rest. Let the darkness fold around you like the petals of a lotus flower closing for the night. Within the heart of the flower, it is warm and quiet. Within the heart of the flower, you are the center of the universe. There is no time here. There is no space. There is only the eternal now. The silence is getting louder. The peace is getting deeper. Every cell in your body is singing a song of gratitude. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this bed. Thank you for this moment of total release. The world will be there when you wake, but for now, the world does not exist. There is only this pulse, this warmth, this drifting. You are falling into the heart of the great mystery. You are falling into the arms of the divine silence. Sleep is the bridge between the known and the unknown. Walk across that bridge with a smile on your soul. There is nothing to fear on the other side. There is only more of you, more of the peace, more of the light that shines in the darkness. The Master once said that the moon does not try to be bright, it just reflects the sun. You do not need to try to be peaceful. You only need to stop trying to be anything else. Let go of the effort. Let go of the desire for rest. Let the rest come to you like a cat curling up in your lap. Do not reach for it. Just be still and it will find you. The night is long and the night is kind. It is the great healer. It mends the broken places and softens the hard edges of the heart. You are being mended now. You are being softened. You are being blessed by the stillness. Rest now. Sink down into the softest part of your being. The journey has led you here, to this breath, to this silence, to this perfect sleep. You are home. You have always been home. The door is closed and the lamp is out and the stars are watching over you. Sleep now. Sleep in the heart of the void. Sleep in the light of the moon. Sleep. Your mind is an empty boat drifting on a vast, calm lake. There is no pilot. There is no destination. There is only the gentle rocking of the water. The boat is empty because you have left everything on the shore. You have left your name. You have left your history. You have left your worries. The boat is light and it floats perfectly. You are the boat and you are the water, and you are the moonlight reflecting on the surface. Everything is one. Everything is still. Everything is exactly as it should be. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Now the lake expands until there are no shores left to see. The water becomes the sky, and the sky becomes the silence that lives between your breaths. You are no longer watching the moonlight. You are the silver light itself, spreading across the infinite dark. Every muscle in your body has turned into mist. Every thought has dissolved into the cool night air. There is no effort required to exist. There is no effort required to rest. You are falling upward into the stars. The universe is a soft blanket that folds around your spirit. It is warm and safe and eternal. The ripples of the water have smoothed into a perfect mirror. In this mirror, there is no face and no form. There is only peace. You have returned to the source. You have come home to the stillness that was always waiting inside you. The journey of the day is over. The journey of the mind is finished. Let the weight of the world vanish completely. There is nothing to hold on to and nothing to fear. The darkness is kind. The silence is a song. Sink deeper into the velvet shadows of the night. You are held by the earth. You are guided by the moon. Rest now. Rest in the void. Rest in the light. Sleep deeply.